Hello and welcome to Trucking Answers. It's Roller Wiener Monday. Can you believe it already? So get those wieners out and let's get ready to rumble, apparently. Let's see, the new hours of service are going to go into effect soon. All right, the ATA says, hey, the driver shortage, it's over. What about the FedEx truck? Did you get your delivery? I'm still waiting for delivery. What the heck is going on? Hey, can't we just get along? And I've got some stocks too. As usual, our favorites are on the list. Not much happening this week, really, so we'll see what you think is happening. And there we go. And so I will click that and come over here and say hello to Alexander, who was first on Thursday. There you go. Wild Bill was first today on the thing that I look at here, the sheet here that I look at. And let's see. Fleet Nav Systems is here. Hello. Hey, I want to tell everybody, too, about Fleet Nav Systems early, that they're going to have an officer on there tomorrow at 3 p.m., and we'll talk about that later, too, but be sure to go over there and ask them a bunch of questions. I'm going to try and get up and be sure to be there and ask questions. Ryan O is here. Hello, Mike. Mark is here. Hello, and George. Hey, Goob. What's up? Misty. It's your Sunday. Nice. Hello, it's good to see you. Christina, what's going on? Al Johns, what's happening? Let's see, where am I at here? I lose my spot all the time. All right, so BD5AV8R1. Nice. That's a tough name to pronounce. Hello there, Chris is here. Hello. It's good to see you. It's good to see everyone. I hope everyone is being safe out there and not caught up in anything. Yikes. We'll see what's going on with that. There was disaster here in Lafayette last night. Eddie, what's happening? And this is a small town, remember. So President George H.W. Bush is here. It's good to see you. Is Amazon pulling its trucks off the road? I don't know. Are they doing that? Maybe they're just saying every truck that's older than 10 years, they're not going to allow to haul their trailers, which would be like almost all their trucks. So I haven't seen that. I don't know that Amazon would do that. That'd really be something. Creepy Joe is here. Watch those hands. And you saw sell it on trailers. Yeah, people are seeing sell it on trailers. It ebbs and flows. Now they're coming out of the woodwork again. Say what is here. Hello there. And let's see here. Dave Johnson. Let's see. Stephen Taylor. Gear Jammer. What's going on? Lucas, it's your greetings. Yes. Imperial Sync, it's Monday. There was no Sunday rant. I know I wasn't home this weekend. We were in Jasper, Indiana, looking at houses and stuff because we were eventually going to move down to the Jasper, somewhere in Dubois County, really, which is headquartered in Jasper, Indiana. And so we were down there looking at some houses. So stayed down there this weekend. Sorry about that. We'll be back on schedule this coming weekend, I hope. So I do apologize, though. I did think about that, but I thought, I'm down here looking at houses. So Misty went camping this weekend and roasted some wieners here in Utah, where roller wieners are back. Isn't it great? But not everywhere. They're not back everywhere, but you can still grab one if it's your choice to grab one. Some places are letting you grab them finally, which it's about time, right? What's going on, Grafton? It's good to see you. Live long and prosper. Trucker Dave is here. Stanley, good afternoon. Please be safe and don't let the criminals break in your trucks. Yeah, I mean, that's a real problem. That is a real problem. That's a real problem. As we see in the news here, this FedEx truck, there's a tanker, there's a UPS truck somewhere that was being robbed. It's a real disaster. Remember, what was that guy's name? Denny, right? That guy in the early 90s? Reginald Denny, that was his name. So truck driver there got beat up pretty bad in the Rodney King riots in Los Angeles area. If anyone that was alive back then, I barely remember being in my extreme upper 30s, but yeah, it was a real problem. Chicken Hello from sunny Alabama. They haven't burned anything down in your county yet. I'll tell you what, they set fire to Walmart right here in Lafayette yesterday. Okay, and so that's not a protest anymore, all right, which I always say, people, I protect the Constitution for everybody, whether I agree with them or not. You have the right to peaceably assemble and protest your government, absolutely. You do not have a right to burn a Walmart down, okay, so that's where I draw the line on that. Protest your government all you want, no problem. Burn down Walmart, we got a problem. Felipe, what's going on? Frog, hey, hello there. Todd, it's Todd, do you have a lot of protesters up there? Yeah, we had 1,000 people march, and because I was watching it live, the news didn't cover it. It was live. Some local person went out there and covered it, and I'll estimate, looking around, there were 1,000 people. So I was really surprised. But we have a lot of Purdue people here, although not too many are here. A lot of them are, don't have a lot to do, so that is a problem. Creepy Joe's checking in from your bunker in an undisclosed area. We're all going to have to go into a bunker pretty soon. Your ELD just said to avoid the area because it's going to be protesting. Yeah, our company put out a message to everybody early this morning. If there's any problems, let them know and go around anything. And if you feel unsafe, leave the area and call them and stuff. So, yeah, I think it's a problem. Steel horse, someone pass you a hot dog? Yeah, we can grab them ourselves. I'll grab you an extra wiener. How in the world are they going to arrest that trucker that was pulled from his truck and beat senseless? Lucas, I think he has a good defense for... the tanker guy has less of a defense, I'll say that. And I'm not a lawyer. Let's see, where's Fleet Nav system for this, right? I'm not a lawyer, but I think the FedEx guy has got one thing. I saw that. They're on his truck. But the tanker guy, he's got a bigger problem. It's funny that the state police, just put out about this truck driver that, the protesters driving a peaceful protest. I don't consider blocking an interstate a peaceful protest. Okay, that's just me. You don't get to block commerce. You can go protest your government. So, Stephen Hurst, I've been watching you since the beginning. Love the videos. What do you think about the driver safety amidst all this in Missouri, Minnesota, Dallas are my lanes? Yeah, I think if it's unsafe, don't go there. Okay, if there's a protest and you hear about it, do not go. Do not risk your life. It's not worth it. You know, I don't know why people would protest me. I'm not doing anything to anybody, but don't risk it. Park, call your company and say, hey, it's not safe. It just isn't safe. That is your primary thing to go back to your house. Jeez, really? And the company should be okay with it, I would hope. Cassius King Trucking is here. Hello, what's happening? Jeanette saw GP Transco pulling a fancy tricolored trailer on I-80. Really? Maybe it's one of their new trailers or something like that. Maybe they got some new colors. That'd be even cooler. That'd be great. Of course, he's in Iowa, west of me, so it would be teal colored, of course. Dan, hello from Orange, California. How's it going out there? Is there any activity out there? And now we got to ask about, is it safe to drive into an area? I mean, holy mackerel. Still no roller wieners in Ohio. What's going on with the governor? He won't let you grab your own wiener. I would write to him, and I think it'd be funny. Write to the governor. I'm sure it's governor at Ohio or something like that. .gov. They have an email and ask him about it. Why can't I touch my own wiener at the store? I've seen 4 Prime trucks today. I can't imagine Prime closing. Okay, I could see them not going into an unsafe area. There's nowhere they're going to close. Those guys can't turn the trucks off. I mean, they're from like 92. Those are the trucks that run all the time, Jimmy Strader's here. Hello. Eastbound and down and listening. Chicken Holler about the FedEx driver. If they played stupid games, you win stupid prizes. The driver to look out for himself. Yeah, I agree. And how would he know somebody's in between the truck stealing stuff out of it? I saw video. There's video everywhere about this, right? There's people on the truck, banging on the truck and stuff. That's just, I'd say, look, that's self-defense. I'm not going to stay here and be killed. So that somebody's in there, that's just too bad. Don't go steal stuff from trucks. It's not a protest anymore. You can't say, we're protesting. What? You protesting FedEx trucks driving there on the road? No. Protest, go gripe at your government all you want. And if all these people take the time to vote, that's how you change something, right? Mr. Beener, this furniture selling like hotcakes. I delivered in Lakeland, Florida this morning and loading to Zellwood. Loading a backhaul in Zellwood. Going back to North Carolina. I think Florida has freight. I think you did get lucky. I didn't know they made any furniture in Florida. But yeah, you got lucky. Almost any time when I'd go to Florida, you'd have to go at least up to the Panhandle or something to get a load out of there. You just couldn't get out if you had a van. You just could not. So yeah, you got lucky. Sunny and 80 in Canton, Mississippi, Cassius King. Yeah, it's supposed to be 70 today, 93 to here tomorrow. So get your heat. If it doesn't work, everybody, your air conditioning, fix it today. Michael Watts, what's up? What's happening? The shocker, greetings, degenerates. Yeah, that's all of us now, right? Hello from, did you see how fast that changed? Last week, everybody loved us. Now we're being looted. So, hello from Canada. A lot of truckers are not working. O'Vannon. Okay, well, the ATA says there's no more driver shortage here in the United States, because the 90,000 people were laid off. So why are drivers not working in Canada? Same reason as here, presumably. Freight is down. Barry, waiting in Denver. Things are quiet here, I think. It's daytime. Remember that song from the 80s, The Freaks Come Out at Night? Who remembers that song, right? That was great. I wish I had a clip of it, but then it's probably copyrighted. Nobody cares about Mississippi. Yikes. What's up? I'm just going to listen today, Michael Muller. All right, well, it's good to see you here today. S. Isaacs, hello there. Chrome Daddy, what's happening? Trucking and OD podcast. Hey, what's happening? A podcast on there. Shocker, that senior degenerates. Yeah, and I'll be on a podcast here. It looks like it's going to go live on June 5th. I was interviewed last week for a podcast, and I'll have more information later this week. I'll put a video out about it so you can go see it. I guess he's going to put it on YouTube as well. As soon as he sends me the info, I'll give it to you. So that's how that's going to work. That's what I could say about that. Beat up, they smashed his face with a cinder block. Yeah, that. Were we talking about this guy, or are we talking about Reginald Denny, right? Yeah, I mean, that was a problem. And he should have kept going. I said that back then, and I don't fault the FedEx guy personally. If I was on the jury, he wouldn't go to jail. Let's put it that way. Greetings from freelooting LA. Just wear your mask. I did notice that, which I thought it was hilarious. Here in Lafayette, everybody was outside, and most of the people had masks on. But then again, that's a perfect reason to wear your mask and say, well, I have a mask on, so you can't be identified, right? So it's perfect. There, everybody wears a mask. In Walmart, no masks. So they had the SWAT out at Best Buy, okay, which is nowhere near downtown. That's in Lafayette, all right? This is not a big town. SWAT was out protecting Best Buy. Apparently part of protesting your government is stealing phones and TV sets. That tanker almost drove through the highway crowd. I did see that. Look, and that, nobody was around him. He just, gunned it up there. So that guy's got a bigger problem than the FedEx guy, I think. Saturday night in Seattle, 4 police vehicles were burned. Well, that's great. And that's the other side of a protest, is that here in Lafayette, which I was talking to the wife, I watched this for a couple of hours live because somebody was streaming it live. I said they don't have a leader. The protest is just a bunch of people wandering around. They needed a leader to come out with a bullhorn and lead everybody down the street and then lead them to the courthouse. That's where it was supposed to end there and speak and all that stuff. And that's their media contact. They didn't have a leader, and so things get out of hand here. Most of these aren't protests anymore. It's idiots acting like idiots. Right. And then once it's crowd mentality, of course, and people are out. Somebody smashed a window. Oh, I'm going to smash a window too. Right. And WLFI, which is, super apologetic for everything, just said, a few people got out of hand a little bit, but the police started it. I guess the police are the ones that graffitied the courthouse and stuff. I don't know. Frog Lid, I enjoy your content. Thank you. I've helped you a lot. I appreciate that. Thank you for saying that. Gun up and prepare to repel borders. I'll tell you what, I was ready here. I thought, Best Buy is not that far from me. If these people come, I'm here with a shotgun waiting and ring cameras, so nobody's going to sneak up on me. So, but nothing happened here. But Best Buy had the SWAT out. Kelly, what are you doing? How you doing? They burned a freaking cemetery. Who burns a cemetery? Binghamton. What is the point of burning a cemetery? If anything, right, the dead are the least amount of people you want to protest. They're dead. I didn't hear about that. That's crazy. Go burn it. They were burning flags too, which aggravates me to no end. Company shut me down early and told me don't go till morning. Oh, from all these problems? Is this because of all the protests and stuff? Yeah. So don't. The nighttime is not the great time. Jeffrey Herring is here. Good afternoon. It's good to see you today. They protest on Interstate 630 in Little Rock, 5 Mile, march backed up traffic forever. Right. How does that, why isn't that broken up by the police? That's the kind of, I think the police don't want to get involved in that many people, but this shouldn't be allowed to stop the interstate. GP Transco, good afternoon from the new GP Transco headquarters. Is it opened? Sorry, missed last week. Busy moving in. It's good to see you today, GP Transco. I didn't know it was open up. That's going to be great. Is there a video out about that? So I can go watch that. The fuel hauler should have just released the hog nose, dropped a match. Oh, that would have been something, wouldn't it? He'd have to run, though, yeah. Just loaded in Chicago, headed to Rock Hill, South Carolina. How is it up there in Chicago right now? Is everything clear? Stephen Taylor, I'll become a rough Korean gladly. I'm not sure what that is. If the crowd blocks you, where are you going? That is a problem. But the tanker guy, from what I saw, he was back and came upon the crowd and then, just went faster than he probably should have. They got on top of a JB Hunt truck. I'd be nervous about that. Where is that? What city did that happen? Eddie McFadden, the tanker driver, was where he was supposed to be on the highway. That's a violation of commerce. Oh, look, I totally agree. Highway, everybody should be rubber bulleted right off the highway. Totally agree. That's not a protest anymore. That isn't a protest. You're not to kill someone to take them into custody. That's true. That cop had a bad history. I agree. And so that cop needs to be punished under the criminal justice system. Absolutely. Police get by with a lot of stuff, and he shouldn't. We're currently rerouting drivers away from unsafe areas in the United States at GP Transco. You never know where an unsafe area is going to break out. I mean, I kind of thought Lafayette would be kind of clear of it, and not the case. Thank you for the information. I appreciate all that you do on this, champ. You taught me out of a lot, and I got into a good company because of it. Thinking and Froglid, I appreciate you saying that. Just try to get people to at least think about where they're going for a little bit and get in a better place. I'm glad you got a good place. So good. Then thank you for that. I spent 4 days in Minneapolis at home time. That was a bust, so now I have my daughter in my truck and heading out. Yeah, take all your possessions and get out of there. Reginald Denny, that was his name, right, Al Johns. Reginald Denny from, early 90s, sometime in the 90s. I've got an in-cab fifth wheel release. They jump on my truck. I'm dropping my trailer and rolling. It won't work, or at least mine doesn't work. It doesn't work if the truck, even if just the brakes pushed in. So I've always thought about that. What if you accidentally hit it? It won't work. It doesn't work. Are you going to change jobs when you go to Jasper? Yes. What I'd like to do is be a spotter at Jasper Engines, to be honest with you. So I haven't found an opening there yet, but that's what I'd really like. To live in the area and be a spotter at Jasper, or Kimball Electronics has their world headquarters in Jasper. And that's the goal down there. Yep. What will happen to UPS driver? Will he be charged? I don't know if the UPS guy will be charged. The FedEx guy, I don't know what will happen to him either. The tanker guy did go into custody. Protecting one's property in Wisconsin is legal. Indiana is a stand-your-ground state. So if someone comes in your home, you can just dispatch them quickly, right? With no recourse. Don't go stealing stuff from a moving truck or train. I know. You get in between the truck and trailer, the guy starts driving, you got a problem. Some people prefer to destroy. They love destruction. That's why their neighborhoods are the way they are. It's a real problem when people come out and say it's a protest. Now I'm going to go to Best Buy and steal a TV set. How does that help your protest? Alexander is mad these criminals burned down businesses in Indianapolis. Idiots are going to drive business away. Oh, absolutely. I mean, downtown here they're trying to revitalize the downtown in Lafayette, and they're down there protesting. There's a Holiday Inn Select City Center downtown. It's like $150 a night down there, which isn't too bad, but I mean, it's expensive in the area. And they were all protesting around the hotel. It's like 7 stories. And I wonder what these people in this hotel think about this. You're going to drive people away from coming here. Brian, be careful. Load isn't worth your life. Yeah, if you see a problem, just turn around. Don't drown. Get out of there. Orlando had protests on East I-4. Idiots are doing burnouts and close the whole interstate. Oh, did they spell words of protest in the burnouts? Or I don't understand. The podcast is a radio talk show for people who lack the debate skills to take listener phone calls. Okay, well, I guess so. I don't take listener phone calls either, so. I drive for FedEx Ground. From what I understand, someone had a gun. Yes. He had to do what he had to do, and keeping his job, he had a co-driver. I didn't know that, but it wouldn't matter to me. I'm with you. Okay, if somebody's like that on your truck or whatever, you got to leave. I agree. You tell them, get off the truck, you're going to get run over. Has anyone who works for Amazon been called back to the warehouse of Princess of Dixie Hill? There's one in Lebanon here, Lebanon, Indiana, and I didn't hear that it closed. One of the wife's kids lives in Lebanon, although she doesn't work at that warehouse. But I haven't heard anything about the warehouse closing. George Floyd was murdered for paying with a new $20 bill. I thought that that guy had written what they put in the news here. He had passed a bad check. Was why I was being arrested. I don't know if I wear a mask, but when I do, I'm typically looting. Yeah, everybody had a mask on in that. You don't see that normally. Those people are all like, mask it up. And when it was daylight here and the protesters were walking up and down the streets, it was pretty calm from what I saw. But once the night comes, who knows then? It's like a Night of the Living Dead out there. You got to just go hide. You're like you're Will Smith. Like old Tim Pool says, when it comes to someone trying to stop and look, do people realize how stupid it is to burn police cars? Where did I run? I run off my spot here. Let's see. I've lost my spot. Okay, there, card. Those are purchased with tax dollars. I know. So they burn tax dollar provided things, and then their taxes go up. But I don't know. No, they don't realize that. And this doesn't help your cause in the press, certainly. Loot my truck. I'd rather be judged by a jury than a mob. It's a problem. Burn a bunch of city government stuff, then complain when taxes go up even more. Well, I will say some of the people look like they may not be taxpayers. Martin Dirks, you're back. What's the latest word on hours of service for sleeper berth or anything worth mentioning? Hours of service go into effect September 29th. They finally have a date. That's when the new hours of service go into effect. For your sleeper berth thing, you will be able to split 8-2 or 7-3, and neither section counts against your 14-hour clock. So if you'd like to take a 2 or 3 hour break in the sleeper for traffic or whatever, you could do that. It will not count against your 14-hour clock as long as you split your sleeper properly. Isn't that great? That might be great news for some people. Don't forget your hours of service exemption for those of you hauling exempt loads. Still in effect. Expires June 14th. FedEx ground drivers are contractors, not employees. Yeah, they get sued for that a lot, though. FedEx is fighting lawsuits about that. This person was a semi-driver. He should be an employee. An alien landed in our town and asked, take me to your leaders. So they threw rocks and it burned it to the ground. Yeah, isn't there a Twilight Zone like that? Absolutely, right. That's why maybe nobody has visited here yet. They see what's going to happen. No pockets of peeps getting out of Chicago. Okay, pants up and don't. I agree with that, right? What's the story on the FedEx driver in Minneapolis? As far as I know, he's okay. I think I don't know if he's been taken into custody or not, other than he ran somebody over and they are dead now. Just leaving Chicago now, and it's clear interstate roads. Have no problem finding one in Best Buy, right? Did your GP Transco replica truck arrive yet, Mark? Oh, I haven't gone over. I'll have to go to the UPS box. I chased a teal truck from Muncie to Richmond. Felt like I was following a unicorn. Nice. Yeah, I haven't chased one anywhere. And here, I was out driving again this weekend. We left Friday, so I didn't see one at all over here. I was hoping to at least get a picture of one. I drive and deliver to LA downtown in Santa Monica, and I've made my decision to play Frogger if it comes down to your life. You can't, if people are attacking you physically or like right at your truck, you'll have no choice. You know, you'll have to make a life and death choice right then. It was 1992. I knew it was a long time ago. I was stationed at Edwards at the time. Oh, okay, for Reginald Denny, right. And so early 90s, I barely remember it. Yeah, he got into one of the parts of downtown that were being protested, and it was a big problem. He still hasn't recovered from that. I guess he has lifelong injuries from that. How do you feel about Frey Miller? Depends. I mean, they have some people on the West Coast do okay there because they've got a West Coast terminal, so you know, if you have more experience, you could probably do better there, but you might be able to start there. Right now, it's tough to get started in trucking without experience. If all four cops need to go down for premeditated murder, well, they probably didn't think about it during the day, like, oh, let's go out and kill somebody. An accessory, all he did is pay with a $20 bill. That is Henrietta Tubman, really? And Andrew Jackson on the back. Is that true? Who puts Henrietta Tubman on a fake bill? Okay, so I don't know about that. It wouldn't be premeditated unless they premeditated it, like in the station, like today we're going to go kill somebody. So I don't know about that. Tanker driver should have throttled up. He did. That's the problem. He did get arrested. That I do know. Rick, hello there. Charles, just when things were going to get back to normal, now we get to take a huge step back. Oh, and Davenport is under curfew. Yeah, they didn't put a curfew here. I guess Indianapolis has a curfew. It got worse down there. I know, right when we were above it and now back. But then WLFI, which is the news station here in Lafayette, TV 18, they're back out with Corona again. So they're trying to distract you with that. Really enjoy the show. Keep up the great job, Rick. I appreciate it. Hey, everybody. Fleet Nav Systems is here. It's good to see you. Protesting. These people are rioting. Yes, Alexander, they just want you to think that they're protesting. That way they can try to hide behind the Constitution, which I'd be all for them if they were not looting. The tanker guy's problem is the fact that he was on the road that was closed down. I know. I mean, once you see people, you can't purposely go to run them over. The FedEx guy got surrounded, so I see that as two different things, personally. We'll see what a court and the lawyers think about it, because there's Fleet Nav System that can give me my disclaimer there, because I'm not a lawyer. He was killed for paying with a Kool-Aid pack. I don't know exactly. I thought, the way I read it is that he had passed a bad check. That's what they put it on here. The racist state police in Minnesota arrested the only black CNN reporter. I did see that. I don't know why they're arresting reporters. So I did see that. They did get released. Alexander, your uncle lives in Lebanon. Oh, that's pretty cool. I got a niece there as well in Lebanon. And nobody there works at Amazon, I guess. What's going on with the meat shortage? I don't know. They talk about it, but here in town, because I checked then, meat full. So maybe in larger towns there's less meat. I don't know. I haven't had any problems with it. They talk about it here in town. If you need meat here, we've got it here. No problem. Hello, Walmart DC, waiting to unload till 2 to 4 hours. That's probably pretty good at Walmart. Only 4 hours? Not bad. Do they still make you, I remember when I was delivering at Walmart, I would go in there. They make you drop the trailer in the door and go park in a bobtail lot and either turn your CB on like 28 or something or go inside their little room, which maybe they don't let you do anymore. Is that still how it works at Walmart DCs? Preacher Paul, late to the show, rolling through Spokane, Washington. Oh, what's going on over on the coast there? You could work for Nancy Bear Trucking. I have, and Jasper, Indiana. Oh, is there Nancy Bear Trucking in Jasper, Indiana? And they're gonna have to have the day cab or something like that. You know, that's what I'd be looking for down there local. Forget the National Guard if you want to stop all the looting. Just send some Swift drivers down there. They'll run everything over. That's not great. Trump's Space Force flag is a ripoff from Star Trek. It's very close. Actually, I have a couple bumper stickers coming with that on there. Space Force. But I did see that. It looks very close. But, you know, maybe they were just predicting the future. Space Force, Space Pants, and Space Shorts. Yeah, look, if I was probably 18 instead of the Army, that's probably what I would join. I'd get into the Space Force. The type of people burning police cars don't pay taxes. Cash is king, right? You never see a small business owner out there burning his neighborhood to the ground. Exactly. And there were business owners pleading with people, don't burn down my business. I don't understand. The businesses are what provide jobs, which can help people from the impoverished areas that where everybody's saying, where there's no opportunity, let's burn down the few businesses that we have here. Okay, that's not a great plan. I don't find that to be the best way to achieve success in your life, burning down businesses. I don't know. Just me. If someone wants stuff in the trailer, it's theirs. I'm not getting shot or hit with bricks for any trucking company. I agree, right? You could. The problem with like the FedEx guy, you couldn't bail out right there because they did. Who knows what they'd have done to him? So, but I agree. I totally agree. Not condoning, but Binghamton playground set on fire. Oh, okay. Who sets a playground on fire? Let's burn this down so our kids have nowhere to play. Then again, the taxpayers have to provide the money to rebuild this. So stupid. It's just so stupid. Cash is king. I'm literally going to cry when I have to go back to logging hours of service. I know you've been a master at taking this exemption and using it to your own advantage, which is exactly what it's for. I got no problem with that. And so you got what, 2 more weeks, about 2 weeks of real rolling. After that, holy moly, you're going to be burning businesses down because your checks will be so small. How about the medical exemption? All so far, June 30th, these exemptions end. But that could change, especially if there's more looting or more coronas come out, anything like that. They could extend it. Right now, still through June 30th, as long as it expired March 1st or later. So they figured before that you should have been able to renew it. That's licenses, medical, that kind of stuff in the United States. Because somebody wrote me the other day, oh, Mark, you say this, it's not always for Canada. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm talking about the United States. All the FedEx ground are contractors, even the semi-feeder trucks. Eddie, that would be a misclassification. You're driving a FedEx truck, okay, when they dispatch you and provide, fuel and all that. So you're saying they misclassify every driver in their trucks? That's probably why they're constantly being sued about it. The semi-drivers are absolutely employees under the IRS rules. I give a shout-out to Triune Logistics in Bolingbrook. They leased truck drivers that treated you good 20 years ago if you're looking for local driving. Wow. They lease truck drivers. All right. Triune Logistics. Bolingbrook. I don't know if I'll move back to Chicago. Truckers should boycott these cities until their safety can be guaranteed. Lauren. Oh, that is absolutely correct. You want to stop trucks from coming into the city? No problem. No more trucks come in the city. Absolutely. That's totally the solution. And the trucking company should write to the mayor or whatever and say, until you guarantee our safety, no more trucks come into your city for anything at all. Meat, nothing. Then see what happens. Alexander, your friend was chased out of a pilot last night outside Chicago. The folks didn't want the truck stop to be burnt down. The folks there didn't... Was your friend burning the pilot down? The way you write it. The folks didn't want the truck stop to be burnt down. Make sure... I'm surprised you were at a pilot. Make sure you record or use dash cam if you get in life or death. Oh, here's another reason where a dash cam comes into play, right? You can record everything that's going on around your truck. All these people that are coming or whatever, if this happens to you, can totally be recorded on there. And you could narrate it as it's going on as well. Elias, all lives matter. Yeah, why can't we just all get along? How about that? Well, how about we just all be people? Like the Teddy Roosevelt thing too. Once you're in America, you're American. Okay, we're not a dash anything. Everybody's an American. I'm not a color American. I'm not a race American. Nothing. We're just be Americans. How about that? And we all work for the betterment. The Star Trek idea. Will that happen? Apparently not. Not as long as Best Buy is full of TVs. Daytime protests are greater than nighttime protesters. Yes. You want to protest? Fine. First Amendment. You want to loot? No. That's not a fake bill. It's in circulation since the beginning of the year. I got one from the ATM. Okay. Look, I would like to see, you can send me a picture of a 20 with the Harriet Tubman on it. I don't know if Harriet Tubman has been put on a bill yet. If that's true. I didn't hear that, so I don't know that that's true. You live up there near Pastor Paul Begley's, my preacher. Okay, I don't know who that is, so... James Faust is here. It's good to see you. Is it cat break time? It can always be cat break time here. And who could be... Well, let's just... we didn't have too much of Gracie on there. She was hiding out here from the protesters. And she's watching the birds today, as always. I filled up the bird feeder before the show. That keeps her busy for a while. But they eat the bird feed so fast. It's crazy. And they're like, Mark, who cares about your bird feeder? Gotcha. They're saying it was a bad check since they didn't know about the new 20 trying to cover... Oh, I see. I'll have to look that up. All right, I haven't seen a 20 with anybody new on it. That has to go through a big approval process and stuff. Regardless of that, okay, he shouldn't be killed for that. I'll give you that. All right, okay, I'm not... Well, he should kill him. No. Okay, that's wrong, too. We can't burn the whole country down for that. That's not a solution either. I'm still hauling considerable amounts of pre-processed meat base for sausages. The plants are overwhelmed. That sounds totally gross. Is that on the bills? I gotta know that. Pre-processed meat base. Oh my gosh. I'd love to see if that's on the bills. And that's what other people are saying too. They're getting to place, and the places are just full of stuff because they ordered a bunch of stuff, and now everybody's basically leveled off on all the stuff that they have. We've eaten everything we can find, so... The teal truck is Mark's Bigfoot. Yeah, I feel like even if I saw one, it would be out of focus and way off in the distance somewhere. Depends on the DC, they're different. All right, I remember you would drop the truck, put it in that door, then you got to go park over here, and then you can either go upstairs, which I don't know if they let you do anymore, or sit in your truck and have the CB on. Star Trek people stole the Space Force logo. That's true, right? They looked back and said, that looks like something that would make for a good logo. Parked at the bobtail lot. They call on the phone. No, we have cell phones. Okay. So what if you don't have a phone? We still have a couple of drivers who are curmudgeons that don't have phones. Will they call you on the CB also, or do they ask what that is? Or what if you have a crystal radio? Will they call you on that? You go, I only have 4 channels. It's only crystals I bought. Who remembers that? Oh, I wish I still had that. Who had a crystal CB? You went to Radio Shack because you had questions, they had answers. You could open it up. I had one with 3 channels, A, B, and C, and you'd buy the crystal for the channel and put it in the back of the CB. Bingo. I had 9, 19. I don't remember what other channel I had on it. 14 maybe, because there were only 23 channels then. Who remembers crystal CBs? You saw a reporter in Minnesota get shot with a rubber bullet. I lived for 20 minutes and felt bad for me. I hear that they hurt. Freedom of the press is important. I agree. They shouldn't be arresting reporters or anything like that. It's probably hard to tell out there who's a reporter, but CNN and that, they have pretty big cameras, so it's not somebody with a cell phone. But who's a reporter? Would I be a reporter out there if I was reporting on it? I don't know. If we didn't lock down with Floyd still be alive, we'd have tried to cash a bad check if he still had a job. Well, we can't rule out people's. We can't put aside someone's bad activities if he had a job. They're jobs. Okay, like I always say, Motivation Monday, whatever, there's a job. There's ways to do things without breaking the law. So I can't condone that. But killing him, no. Regardless of what these few things that people are talking about, you should not be killed for it, certainly. Certainly not. We stood at Walmart. Just put your truck out from under your trailer at Walmart. Now, most of them don't have bobtail spots. Driver's lounge are still open in Montego, but you can't use them. But you still have to mask up. Oh, to go inside? All right. You used to get Sam's Cola in there for $0.25. Siegfried for a cat's name. Oh, that would be good. Yeah, Sylvester, Felix, those are good names. Meat shortages, I'm hauling it now. Ribeye and porterhouse. At least that sounds more normal. Meat product by precursors. Ugh. Texas ranchers have interviews saying they're getting emails from government to kill off cows, pigs, and chickens and dumping milk because they can't risk putting possible COVID-tainted products in stores. That's not good. I mean, can't they give this stuff away? Is there some way to test it and give it away rather than... I mean, do cows carry this kind of stuff? Holy mackerel. Here in Pittsburgh, there were outside agitators who looted and burned stuff, according to the police chief. Yeah, that's always... But it only takes a few people, and then the whole protest gets taken over, and then that's what the news makes. That's why protesters need a leader. Saying, stop this, decry this kind of thing. They should be out protesting the looting as well. Cassius King has 3 drops in Louisiana today. Oh, that sounds typical for you. I'm sure they'll all be logged properly. Trump pulled out of the WHO. I did see that. He's going to pull out, or did pull out, of the World Health Organization. GP Transco, the Mexican restaurant bar office, raised their steak taco prices due to beef costs going up. Ugh, worth it. Look, here's the thing. I think you should still go there and get some of those to support a small business so that it stays open. We can't say, oh, well, now it's up, so we don't want to go there. Still go and buy the stuff, everything that you're going to buy, or they're going to close. And then that's not going to be great either. Is being governed at 62 too slow? One time a Swift truck literally swifted past me. Some of the Swift trucks are 68, so I think it's slow. I'd like to see all trucks go the speed limit, personally, as a company driver. But most of them 65 to 70, at least, 65. Remember, if you're being paid by the mile, the faster you go, the more money you make every day because you can put more miles down. So a company that's efficient at running you, that will let you run a little bit faster, a few miles an hour can result in couple thousand bucks a year in your pocket for the same amount of time. So you're not working more, you're making more. There it is, Fleet and F Systems. Tomorrow they're going to have Trooper Brent Hoover of the Indiana State Police CMV Enforcement on the show for live Q&A at 3 p.m. to take your questions. And so I'm going to be there. Hopefully I can get up for that. Tomorrow, talk to the trooper. Ask him all your questions about the new hours of service and stuff. See if he knows them. Hopefully he's up on it. O'Reilly's burnt down? Who burns down an auto parts place? Now nobody can drive around. I'm not taking home time till hours of service go back into effect. That's what I figured. You'd stay out a couple more weeks. I mean, this is the only time in history, really, where you've had this kind of opportunity nationwide to capitalize on something like this. So, yeah, go for it, right. Chicago was always dangerous, only a little more dangerous now. Yeah, Chicago, people are like, oh, this is just normal. I mean, I lived at 1800 North Whipple in Chicago. So I get it. I lived there, and it was a mess, and we're talking quite a while ago. I rented a room for $40 a week, and my landlady told me, do not look at people when you're walking home, because the people sitting on the porch or whatever, it's mostly gangs around here, she said. So if you just walk by, don't look at them, it's no problem, but don't look at them, don't do anything. I mean, holy mackerel. Hope that guy drove into the crowd on the highway gets banned from CDL for life. He might. I mean, that kind of thing wasn't necessary. I hate that Corona has affected so many people, but my situation, I'm running with no hours of service, and my wife can't go out and spend money. Oh, perfect. So you're just piling this stuff up. Hopefully we can all meet up, and you can buy everybody their own roller wiener. So after this Walmart unload, I get 5 days home time. 5 weeks out is too much. Ugh. Day out per week, that is a long time. There's no black or white or Asians. There's only one race. Yeah, can't we all just be people? How about that? Why does everybody have to be a race? How about we're just people? Wouldn't that be better? I spend it, but you can Google it. You could still spend it on... Okay, I will look it up. I'm going to look up, I'm actually going to write that down so I don't forget, right? Because I've never seen a bill with a different person that's legal tender. So, okay, Alexandra, she would like to say hi if she's probably sleeping. Great show. Got in late, but at least I'm here. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate you coming in. What are you seeing out there on the streets? What's happening? Donald, why don't you tell the tale, Reginald Denny, what happens when a truck driver to the wrong place at the wrong time? Yeah, I remember. I remember the story partially, right? Wasn't he making some kind of delivery? It seems like he had a dump trailer. I don't remember, and he was going down the street, and he was literally in the wrong place at the wrong time, and protesters threw a brick through his windshield, right? Threw a brick through the side window somehow, dragged him out, and beat him senseless, nearly killed the guy. But he stopped. Somebody come out and he stopped the truck, and that was his problem, because it was like total destruction down there. I would not have stopped. Okay, but he stopped, and it almost cost him his life. Am I right about this whole story? It was quite a while ago. They're keeping the impossible meat on the shelf. That's a power grab by meat companies to take out the little man and all the meat coming from big meat. That's probably true. It's big meat. Anything that's got a market like that, certainly. The big movers in it are absolutely in it, certainly. Typical bill of lading reads pork trimming, so that sounds more palatable. They want to put lab meat on shelves, blaming cattle for the huge amount of methane, ruining our climate. Those dang farting cows. You have 2 Crystal CBs. So you remember these Radio Shack, I think it was Realistic brand, right? CBs, and you would open it up and you could go down to Radio Shack, get your free battery with your Battery of the Month Club, which I remember, I would get one every month, and buy a crystal. And you pick the channel. I need a channel 12, and you would plug it in the back of the CB. Trucker Hershey had those Crystal CBs back. Okay, I am not the only one. No work boots were stolen. Yeah, I didn't see anybody over at the Red Wing store here in Lafayette stealing any of that stuff. Charles, you missed Radio Shack. They had a lot of good stuff in there that you could get that people didn't realize, but people got away from making their own radios and stuff like that. So you had a Crystal scanner also. Oh, I had a Bearcat for a while, but not a Crystal one. And the CB, I had Crystal CB. I was listening to the Rodeo Drive looting last night. It was crazy. Or Rodeo. It was the Sirius XM Fox News Channel 114. I know. It was probably worse than here. They have nicer stuff. Trucker reporter host. Yeah, I don't... You know, what exactly qualifies? It's not like you don't get a license to be a reporter. I got an old Realistic CB. It was my dad's 2 channels, 19 and 9. Okay, so it only had 2 channels, but they're probably Crystal. Maybe not, but they're probably Crystal CBs, yeah. I just got a $20 bill with Harry Tubby on. I'll have to see it. I mean, how do I know this is legal tender? I mean, I don't see where these riders are destroying private homes and businesses. I wouldn't be nearly as mad if they only attacked government buildings. They shouldn't attack any building, but right, what about the private business? There's tons of businesses that had bricks and stuff through their windshields or their windows and stuff. What does that prove? How does that further your cause, whatever it is that you want? Okay, you want police to be trained and all this to change, so you go loot a Best Buy? I don't know how that connects. 100% of farm workers tested positive. No, the product has it, but the workers are infected, then they contaminate the food. Oh, okay, well, all right, that's a problem then. Then let's take the cattle and give them away, at least. At least. You do not have to just murder the poor cattle. No meat shortage. You have a stockpile of Spam. I have 1 can of Spam here because it's good forever, basically. Teal trucks turn white above freezing. Oh, that's why I can never see one. I heard the auto parts are opening back up. Auto plants will take a while for things to get back. Now, Ford was in the news a few weeks ago. They'd been open for a few weeks. GM opened up. Mercedes, no, who was it? Hyundai was the first one open. They opened like a month ago. So yeah, they're opening. So, but would you buy a new car now? One that's made with the new way of doing things. People all have to learn a new way. I think the first of these cars coming out for any maker is not going to be as great. If you want a new car, be sure to get one that's got a build date, before maybe March 15th, something like that. On the news, one farm all tested positive. That's almost impossible, right? No protester has a right to block roadways. I agree, comfortable man. Especially in interstate. If you did, then you could be run down. Well, you don't want to run people down. You certainly don't want to run people down, but blocking the interstate, no, they should be taken off the road. Then he stopped at a red light and lost and in the wrong part of town. That's, yeah, something, I forget how that exactly worked, right. Well, there's a teal truck, too. I guess right there is below freezing. Not sure how that works, right. But that could be one of the below freezing trucks. So I guess in the summertime, they will turn a different color. Got that. Let's see. Oh, right. Gracie's not impressed with what I'm saying about that, certainly. She is not big on that. Either way, when he saw all those people there, you have to just decide, look, once bricks and stuff start flying, you got to keep cruising. You got to keep cruising. I'm putting my BLM sticker on my truck to stay safe. Hey, I'm with you, right? We can't. That's great. Did you hear about the looters stealing packages from FedEx? Yes. They're stopping trucks and taking packages as a protest. Apparently that will change the way the police work. It did cost Reginald his life. He didn't die. He's still alive. It changed his life, they said, but he did not die from that. They threw a brick at his windshield and yanked him out of the truck, right? But he should have kept going. That was his chance, basically, to keep going. If you wear it, make it a parrot. And then you can at least hit the button. And now, because then he couldn't call the police. Although I don't know if they would have come. Now you can. Jay James, how you been? These are some dumb times. It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, when will people just get along? How about that? Really, in society, there shouldn't even be a need for the police. Really. People shouldn't steal from each other, and people shouldn't loot stores. They shouldn't do any of these things. Why there's such a huge police presence in anywhere is just a testament to how far we really haven't come as, people towards Star Trek at the end and us now. How does this plant-based meat is made by the large packing companies like Impossible? Who makes that? Isn't that Impossible Meat Company? But is that owned by somebody else? A lot of us farmers in Ohio had a shortwave radio kit with a crystal in it. Oh, I could listen to shortwave as a kid with a realistic desk shortwave radio, but never. It didn't have crystals in it. It had like a dial you could turn, so it was a little more advanced. I remember the crystal-powered CB though. He had to completely upend his life. He did, right? But he didn't die. And moved to Lake Havasu. And he couldn't say, well, he was injured. That's true. That's bad. No matter what, it's always better than death. The best dispatch line in Minneapolis, 1901, we have a male trying to set himself on fire. Good. There's a good protest, too. I never understood that. That's usually in other countries. But sometimes here, what is the point of setting yourself on fire? That you can only protest once, I guess. How were the protests in Lafayette? Well, they started fire to Walmart. The SWAT team had to come out and protect Best Buy and the mall. And that's not too far from me. And downtown, they graffitied up City Hall, threw a brick through the court building windshield. Yeah, it's a disaster. They blocked streets downtown. It's crazy. It's not a big town. The Tubman is a stamp over Jackson. You're not allowed to deface the money. Okay, so that would be illegal. Theoretically illegal, right? Anyone ever watched Large Car Ace Video Trucker in New York City? When a guy talks, he sounds like Andrew Dice Clay. No, that'd be pretty good though, right? Run a Johnson Messenger 23 channel. I have a Radio Shack 23 channel in storage. I don't use it. And I have a Royce. Remember those? CB, that's as large as a small television set. That is a desk CB that you would use in your house, like a base unit, where you had a moonrakers on your roof. Remember those? I heard they were looting the boot store in Nashville. Yeah, but they go, wait a minute. There's no TVs in here. That's true. That's something I didn't hear about. No buildings were harmed in the filming of the Today Show. That's good. The rioters want to shut everything down. The best way to do is to stop the trucks. Semper Fido. Yeah, that's true. But we should say, look, if you don't want us to come in your town, that's no problem. We won't bring you anything. No problem. Make each town kind of like its own little escape from New York. So you went down to the guy in the corner and got a crystal? So your dealer's name was Mr. Shack, and he kept you supplied with batteries. That's true. He would give you a battery, and right next door was the 7-Eleven, right, where you could get your drinks and stuff in there, and zigzags. Target, it became a target for protesters. They're closing a lot of stores. Tesla opened up against the wishes of the county was in. When he did that, it almost made me go buy a Tesla. I just love that guy, that he just told California to get lost and said, you can't do this to me. I just almost want to buy a Tesla from Musk. I mean, he just sent 2 people into space and a private corporation, because it's who's going to fix the roads and not for the government? I don't know. Maybe a private corporation. He sends people into space, builds a car, dug a gigantic hole in the ground. And so I'm almost in for a Tesla just to support him. You've got a few bad people starting vandalism. Well, that's true. There were a lot of people on the interstate. Okay, all of that is illegal. It makes arrests look bad, but storming the Capitol building with an AR-15 and threatening the lawmakers to open up or they're going to kill them. Well, no one, it is legal to carry a weapon, an AR-15 or anything else, and nobody was vandalized. And I think the government should have been opened up. I wouldn't threaten them with a gun over it, but I don't think they had any right to shut anything down, including Tesla. I'm glad he opened. They also burned down a library, of course. Burn the books. The only place you're going to learn anything, we're going to burn that down. An affordable housing complex. That's brilliant. There's no affordable housing. I hear this all the time from people, even though that's all relative, but that's another story. So let's burn down the little bit of affordable housing that there is. So what does that do? Push the price of housing up because there's less units. Wow. Hopefully they didn't burn down an economics book in the library. Burn a library down in a playground. Just had to talk to your supervisor, L. Johns, for 48 minutes. He's a good guy, but he's a talker, and so am I. He gets some of those people. I'm like, hey, just tell me what I'm doing. We're just people. Have you seen some of the toenails on these flip-flops? Well, that's true. Maybe there should be people on flip-flop wearing yellow toenail people. People can still clip your toenails. Once they click on the ground like a velociraptor in Jurassic Park, okay, when you're running like that or whatever, okay, you need to get those things clipped. Jeanette, cooking and pasteurizing will kill the virus. However, anything consumed raw should be destroyed. Okay. All right. So if you cook your beef, you make your burger, you should be safe, correct? Kind of like boiling water or whatever. With all the layoffs that are coming in October, I'm sure a lot more people will be coming into trucking. Why are we getting laid off in October? Is this going to be like a second wave or something coming up in the fall? Because that's going right into Christmas. And people have been crazy at this weekend, right? There was a lot of traffic going to Jasper and that. The motel had hardly anybody in it. I think they were happy to see me. Almost woke up the front desk clerk, but otherwise it was pretty busy of traffic. Even if the animals test positive, once you cook the virus, it dies. According to it dies when introduced to heat. That's why I'm thinking outside. Let's get people to get outside and, get in the heat and stuff. Maybe tomorrow and this week when it's 90s, that will help. You're not stopping. Don't risk your life but if necessary, you got to do what you got to do. I think a dash cam might save your whole, not just your career, but the rest of your life in jail. I remember taking my 23 channel in for uppers. Oh, right. That's right, too. Right. That's classic CB stuff. Oh, I should see if I can find that thing and bring it in here. Processing facility. I don't even know if it still works. Are the bottleneck in the meat supply. If farmers were allowed to process their own stock, it would be less of an issue. Are they not allowed to by law? See, I'm a city boy. I don't know anything about how meat goes from a cow out there to my table. So can they not legally do that? LAPD retreated from that neighborhood. Yeah. It was private citizens who rescued him. Oh, there you go, with guns, presumably, right. But what he should have done, isn't there a video of this? He stopped or whatever, like, because there are people, he should have kind of run them over. Once people are throwing stuff at you, you keep on cruising. Did the brick clock him in the head? Yes. I think they got him directly. Can we do this community with people and we give up for a... Don't know if you caught the Friday live stream, but the first part had a nod to your channel. No, thank you. I didn't. I didn't get on the Friday one. It's mostly for admins and stuff, right? So I wasn't on it, but I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I might have to armor up my FLD for my Dallas runs. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. And now here, we have drivers. We're not allowed to, with the gun thing, there's all kinds of weird rules and stuff. I mean, but then here again, if there's 100 people around your truck, you can't shoot everybody, but you don't only have to shoot a couple people, really. Usually the rest of them run. That was before my Google Chrome crashed and the live stream was cut short due to technical difficulties. Yikes. Google Chrome. Do you have a Chromebook, or are you running like a full laptop for it? I actually don't even know if you can do this show on a Chromebook. I'll drive 8 to 10 regardless of the hours of service. If it isn't good enough for the company, then they can drive it themselves. Most companies also, at least for company drivers, are not really allowing drivers to go over the hours, probably for liability, but if you own the truck, you can drive all you want. Let's burn everything down in the name of progress. Yeah, we want affordable housing. Let's burn this new affordable housing place down to teach people a lesson. That there's less units and the price goes up. I mean, and a lot of times, The affordable housing is partly subsidized by tax dollars. So here we go again. Burn it down and they have to rebuild it brand new, but the affordable housing is just being built. Sorry, I guess I should have said a lot of these big meat packers are working on making plant-based meats. Oh, I saw an article about Tyson. Yeah, they're trying to get in on the deal, right, of Impossible and all these other ones, because it's starting to sell. The Glazer Mafia is in heaven. Okay, it's called domestic terrorism. I know. I don't know why the police don't take a little more action, at least get people off the roads and stuff like that. People are looting because nobody's got money right now. People have money. Not everybody's broke. Some people still do have money. And there's all these people, Kroger, everybody around here, it's got to be like that in every city. They are begging for people to come to work. So everybody got $1,200, a lot of people, and people are getting unemployment. Why don't people have money? It's 2 months. That's the other side of it. Shouldn't you have 3 to 6 months of money? I still wouldn't loot, though. I mean, that can't be an excuse. So if you didn't have any money, are you saying you go break into Best Buy and steal TV sets? Come on. That cannot be an excuse. Tinker Driver should have kept on driving. I don't know if he'd have made it out of there. Did I miss the stock prices today? No. Let's start out with yellow at $1.48. $1.48 for yellow. Try to get Tesla stock, but it's real high. Yeah, I'm talking about a car, not the stock. I'm talking about buying a car to support that guy for the way that he just gave his thumbed his nose at all the states and everything and just basically does what he wants and is very successful at it. That's why I'm, in for that. Let's trade the Ford Escape for a Tesla Model X. See, that's the wife's car. I don't think she would like doing that, filling it up and everything. So I don't know about that. But I thought about, a 3 or something like that for me. I've considered it. There's a supercharger here in town. After you started this, I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe I should get a Tesla. Looting is not about money. That's correct. Looting cannot be about money. But if those people who stormed the Capitol within AR-15 were black, they'd be dead. I don't know about that. I can't go into racism like that. I don't think so. They are allowed to carry a gun there. And there's tons of people, these other things, that you can carry a gun. But also, these crystals are for my CB. Yeah, you're going to get somebody that's 25 who's not going to know what that is. Oh, what is this? Oh, it's a bag of crystals. 9, 18, 6. They're like, oh, yeah, right. Hands behind your back. When you start seeing traffic coming the other way, you know something is up. I agree. I have a Lafayette 525F 24 channel. Oh, I never saw a 24 channel. That'd be pretty good that you still use. Wow. It's been 40 channels for a long time. Spoke these crystals, you'll be talking to people on different wavelengths. Yeah, I don't know how tight they hold the channel. Why are people so stupid educated to take the right steps? I did not understand. I agree. You don't burn a library. Of all things, a place of learning. Everything you want to know is either on the internet or at the library. And so you burn that down. Jeez. People get laid off in October because the CARES Act required companies to keep people on there till the end of September. Oh, that's why. So the businesses, that money runs out for them and then they lay people back off. Okay, that might work out. That might be, I could see that then. But currently the extra $600 a week for unemployment ends at the end of July. So what about that? People that burnt down the libraries because they never went to the library. I agree. They're like, what is this place? What are these things? You have your 18-speed bike on the truck. Get out and have some fun. Yeah, get out in the weather, and that will help. I think that'll help keep you, less sick. Would it be legal for drivers to have or use a rubber bullet gun? I don't know. See, people ask me a lot of gun questions. I don't know. A non-lethal weapon? I don't know. There's people that are up on all this gun stuff. How about a non-lethal weapon like rubber bullet gun or, say, a stun gun, something like that? Would that be more legal? Mel Gibson isn't here to ask. I heard Pam will be laying some drivers off. Pam did lay some drivers off. Their stock is $35.35. Kind of steady for the week. So, but if Pam's, they're running ads. When you look at CDL Life or whatever for news, they're still running ads for drivers. So they're laying them off on this end and bringing them in on the front end. Going to bring my 15-speed bike on the truck when you go out again. All right, that sounds great. That's what I mean. I have a dash cam and it would be justified to keep driving. Maybe. I mean, you really got to think about it. But if you feel your life's in danger legitimately, I'd keep driving. That's what I would do. What you would do, I guess, would be up to you. Where's Fleet Nav to put up a disclaimer for me? People that watch the Fleet Nav Systems show know what I'm talking about. It's pretty, here's Fleet Nav Systems, right. Live streaming machine, 32 gigs of RAM. Wow. Upgraded myself. Wow. That's sweet. This is 4 gigs of RAM on a 6-year-old Dell running an i3. How about that? The Australian trucks have steel mesh on the glass to protect from rocks. Might be a good idea. Yeah, we're going to have to... It's going to be like trucks in Mad Max. Another Mel Gibson, by the way. The Friday stream is mostly for admins. We use the Cat Park in Lafayette as our zone for our example. Oh, nice. Can you imagine people taking their cats to a park like those dog parks that exist? Yes, that would be something. Cat Park, I don't know if you're just saying that, but Cat Park is for Caterpillar, which has a huge plant in town, and they donated the money for the park. So, but that's pretty good, right? And they lay people off all the time. That was opening bit just because it seemed like a good idea. All right, I appreciate it. Impossible meat is Soylent Green. There is an Impossible drink. It's called Soylent or whatever, right? It's Soylent. Look it up. The FedEx driver and Reginald Denny both made a big mistake by actually coming to a stop. I'm braced today. A bunch of people jump on my truck and grab my little green onions. Yeah, I don't understand, especially him. There's a couple people you just can't stop in that kind of neighborhood. A few infiltrators are burning and looting to discredit the protesters. It's probably not that many, but here, they had it on the news here. There were easily 40 people at the mall, so using rubber bullets invites other people to use real bullets. I would say that if you're going to shoot somebody, you should shoot them, especially in some kind of thing. A rubber bullet, unless you're the police, non-lethal wouldn't be my thing. I'm just asking a question. Do you think rubber bullets would be legal? People laughed when you started buying the medieval armor at Love's, and now they wish that, yeah, you bought that stuff up using those points. Now look at you, all safe. Christina Jones was on your channel, Fleet Nav System, but you couldn't see the contents, so because of your technical difficulty, you couldn't see the comments. A Tesla's a great car when the warranty's up. It's pretty hard to get someone to work on them. Oh, you'd have to go back to Tesla, but for the wife, which would work out better, really. She usually doesn't have a car that's out of warranty. But you're right. It wouldn't put that many miles on it. I wouldn't put that many miles. In fact, my car, I was just looking at it, it has about 1,950 miles in the last 1 year. So I would keep it low mileage, and you can extend the warranty on it. Even Star Trek had a brig. It wasn't usually occupied, but yeah, they did. It's unfortunate. Burning books is pretty symbolic of the mentality of some of the people doing it. Yeah, when they're going to burn books of all things. They're going to burn books. That doesn't make any sense to me. And let's see. Sam's Club is still out of toilet paper. Really? Walmart is now closing all stores because of the riots. New hours until further notice is 7 to 5. Oh, I didn't know that, because I don't go over there. Sam's Club, look, Meijer here, all toilet paper back in stock. So there's always that. And you can order a lot of it online now. They're already protesting in Minnesota. Don't these people have jobs? No. It seems like protesters have lots of time to protest and not a lot of time to work. Run over all the protesters that are on the highways. That's probably not a great idea. I think the police should keep the roads clear. I don't bring my gun on my truck, even though I'm a licensed concealed carrier. If they want to load bad enough, they can have it. Hydraulic fifth wheel release, but you got to stop to use it. Yeah, you can't just go down the highway and hit that button. Rubber bullets can be lethal if you hit someone in the head. All right, they're considered a non-lethal weapon, is what I'm saying. These are paid rioters. That'd be great. How do you get in on that? Where is there like a Craigslist ad or something? Mount an electric fence outside the truck. That's a good idea. Dude, you're getting a Dell. That's what the wife said when we got this years ago, right? And because the commercials, that was the commercials when we got this 14-inch old Dell that I'm using. 55-year-old thinking about getting into trucking. Where would you point you? I would point you to a local trucking school. Like everybody. Go find a trucking school in your area and go get a grant from the state. Many states pay for you to go to truck school. That way you won't have a contract. And then once you get in truck school, write to me and we could talk about the best move for you after truck school. But go have the state pay for it. Ask the truck school how that works, or go on the state's site, Department of Unemployment usually, and you can usually get a grant to get your truck school paid for. And then you won't owe anything or have a contract. Still depends on your company what weapons are allowed in the truck, and some states will get you on the weapons replicates a real gun even though it's federally legal. Yeah, I'm just looking for the law part. Yeah, most companies won't allow you to have it. I agree with you on that. The people that burned down the library were protesting literacy. We don't want literate people. That would be the government not wanting literate people. Weapons on board the truck is nobody's business. That's true. If they don't know you, nothing will happen to you, presumably. It's not legal to carry it in the truck in most states. It's a company that doesn't want any firearms. Brass knuckles. Who has those? Anything they can call a weapon in their truck. People are putting on brass knuckles. They come out of the truck snapping like this and singing. Leather jackets. That just felt bad we couldn't finish the demo. Oh, sweet not Chromebook machine. Oh, okay. I wondered if you could do that. I think Pam is trying to get rid of their experienced drivers. They're tired of paying 35 cents a mile. How are we going to lower our costs? Let's look to Western Express. How did they do it? Figured cat was capitalized for a reason, but we wanted to make it more interesting. Plus, it's in your area, so we wouldn't put it past you. I wish I could change that into a cat park. But the park was financed by Caterpillar, which they make large marine engines here in town at the Caterpillar plant. It's a crime scene when people burn down libraries and burn books. You have a small library in your truck. It's crazy. To go and burn a library, how does that advance anybody's cause? And here again, it's all taxpayer funded. They got to rebuy all those books. And those books are like $400 because when you forget to bring one back, after the 2 weeks, they send you a letter. If you don't bring this back, it's like 3 cents a day, or you have to pay for the book, $16.90, $1,600 book or whatever. They also burned down Wells Fargo and a post office building. It's brilliant. Let's burn the post office. Now we can't. Now where's our check? Dang it, it's the first of the month, right? Where's the check? Oh, wait a minute. That's right. We burned down the post office. Brilliant. The their rubber bullets, use paint and their bodies are under the ship was repercussions. All right. Dang it, we burned all our checks. I love that. My dad keeps asking when I replace my Bambi bumper with an old West locomotive style cattle pusher. You're almost going to need it pretty soon. Are there any scheduled national road checks? Yeah, June. I don't think if I have it on this sheet. It's in a little while. I don't have it on this sheet. They did reschedule, and which I don't know the date off the top of my head, and I don't think I have the sheet with me. Maybe. Nope. They canceled this on this sheet, so I don't exactly know the date, but I'll have it. And it's coming up in a couple. It's not until at least July that they're doing any checks, so nothing this month. Purchase a taser or cattle prod and keep it in your truck. That would work, right? But you got to be fast when there's 100 people. I'm getting a cattle prod to keep you on your driver's seat. So if a writer wants to jump in my truck, you better have something better than that. Were people stealing the books? I want to be a writer. Come ask Trooper Hoover about these questions. Maybe he'll know. That's a good question. Let's ask him about the guns. That's a very good question. Write that down, Fleet Nav Systems. We can ask him about guns. Get the CDL on your own. Go to a company with a CDL in the hand. Always. Always go to private truck school. Get it on your own, even if you have to pay for the truck school yourself or get a loan for it. And get a loan for the whole amount. Always do that first. Having a school pay for it is like the last resort. Maybe a paintball gun decorated to look like a teddy bear. That'd be interesting. Those hurt. Christina, the Louisville mayor, is a liar. He did a press conference and stated the National Guard didn't have their guns loaded until the first shot fired. Why would they leave them? Who sends out the National Guard and no bullets? Hey, go out there and... What kind of thing is that? Here's a gun with no bullets. Also, here's a knife sheath. Wear that as well. I have a knife for cutting rope. Yeah, I wear a knife too. Not a big knife, but it should always be a locking knife in case you do need to use it. Carry a baseball bat for self-defense. Carry a ball glove and a ball near it. It enhances your self-defense at court. Hey, I was just getting ready to play a game. Public education only teaches you enough to run the machines. That's true. That is absolutely true. The whole deal of public education is to make you a worker so that you'll work for big corporations. Right, because remember, you don't secure your future until you write your own check, until you can write your own check. So as long as you depend on somebody else to write your check, you can go broke really easily. Matty P is here. What's going on? I heard Wanderer quite a while back. Trucker fatality lit up a robber with a flare gun. Don't know if they're still legal. Oh, that'd be pretty good. But you better be a good shot. Right? You're getting one shot and then you got a little bit of reload time. The Reformed Rant, you're quite welcome. Benji, if the fleece purchase companies are behind the library burning, they don't want drivers that can read their contracts. Yeah, they're all in there. Hey, we can have people learning any kind of legal terms or whatever. That's probably true. Officer, I swear I only use this machete to shave my head. Yeah, I don't know how big of a knife they would say before they consider it a weapon versus a knife that you can use. I think anything you could sheath, I guess you could sheath on your belt, a machete, can be a work knife. Can't believe the driver in Minneapolis was the one arrested. Yeah, and did you notice? No protesters were arrested. Isn't that great? They only had his mugshot up there. No protesters. I was just behind a Pam truck on 15 South in Indiana, and he drove 45 in 55 for 50 miles. Why? I finally had to pass him. He looked terrified. Oh, he's probably worried about, who knows what he's worried about a Pam. He better go faster for the little bit that they pay. GP Transco just ordered their first batch of Kenworth trucks for the team drivers. Oh, let's see how their reliability. Okay, so what's the specs on the Kenworth trucks? What kind? Engine and transmission. What are we going to get? There it is. S6, I appreciate it. July 18th to 25 is speed check, and August 23rd to 29th is brake check week. With these coronavirus haircuts, that might be a plausible defense. I'm getting an appointment this week, just so everybody knows, to go get a haircut. So that's good. How about paintballs? I think that's paintballs, I guess, depending where you shoot someone. The National Guard had no bullets on the border either. What is the point of that? Jeez, give people a gun and let them load it up. Do hazmat drivers a weapon have a different law to protect the cargo? No, I don't think so. Just get it where it's going. Western Express is going to send recruiters to these protest areas looking for drivers. Hey, guys, you can make 27 cents a mile. They're like, we make more than that on the TVs we take. Keep a couple extra fire extinguishers and spray crowd. Might be difference that you need to escape. All right, that's not a bad idea. Get one of those big CO2 extinguishers. 65 miles to Lafayette, we'll wave. Yeah, look over and see if Walmart's burning. Exit 172, if you're going south, you look to the right. You can see it almost over there. If it was on fire, you'd be able to see it. I got a 16-inch butter knife and expandable steel baton. All right, I don't know about those batons too much. They don't have a good locking mechanism on some of them. Amazon is closing hubs in major cities and ordering drivers to stop immediately and return home. I haven't heard that. What about people that have stuff that's being, coming or whatever? Just saw an international cab over. Thought these were all gone, even painted like J.B. Hunt colors. So they bought this thing years ago and never painted it. One of these old J.B. Hunt turn-in trucks. And never changed it. I love when you see that. Usually you see that on the border in Laredo or whatever. I've seen old MS Carrier trucks down there even, where it still had the lines up the side, and you're like, oh, that's an MS Carrier truck, and they've been out of business so long. Yeah, so people buy them, and they just never repaint the thing. Locomotive engineers are treated excellent by the railroad, unlike drivers at truck lines. How would a locomotive engineer, I would say, be treated better, than a driver? How much do they make, if you know, and how many hours do they work for that money? Fleet Navs have been putting out a lot of content. I'm going to have to catch up. I know you put out like your whole library of content over the weekend. Is this the beginning of Civil War? No, because it's people versus people rather than one side versus the other. So, no, I don't think so. I think it's a problem that's going to have to be contained really fast. I wear sheath underwear. Is that considered a weapon? It depends on what's in it. Oh, hey-oh. We promised to set up brand new driver training videos by the end of the month, so it was a really long weekend, but we delivered. I know you put a lot of stuff out, so people that need to know anything about basically anything, they're in right there. Oh, how about this? Look at this, and it's time for a tortie break. Look at that line down the top of her head. I just love it. Most of the torties are female, so that's why I say that. Right down the middle. That's the thing. Cats don't care what color you are or what color they are. Can't we be that? Can't we be as smart as a cat at least? Why is Amazon asking truckers to come back to the warehouse? That's a good question. I mean, what if you have stuff on the road or whatever? Because coming back, wouldn't it be safest to just park somewhere, I guess, and back up to a pole or something? Maybe not. Charlie, good to listen to your show. What do you know about Charles Bailey Trucking? I love to hear my name from you. All right, Charlie Glover. I love to hear I'd love to hear my name, Charlie Glover. I don't know anything about Charles Bailey Trucking. Who's got some insight onto Charles Bailey? Is that a smaller place? I've never heard of it that I know of. I've got an 8D cell mag light. It's almost the size of a small bat. Yeah, I have one of the old, from my grandfather's days when they used to carry these gigantic flashlights. I have an old metal flashlight. I don't know how many D batteries it takes. A lot. And I felt bad for the guys that were carrying it. But yeah, that's what they used to use it for. It's huge. It goes easily from your belt to your knee. And it's metal. And you have a leaded tire thumper. That's pretty common. That'd be tough to say that's some kind of weapon. Many drivers carry it. A while back you mentioned the VA is trying to do GPS law. Any update on that? Yeah, what happened with the GPS law in Virginia is some state person there in Virginia said, all right, to come into Virginia, if you get off the interstate, every vehicle needs to have GPS on it, okay? Because people are hitting bridges. Well, that didn't go over great. Because it turns out it might be a lot of money for companies that don't use GPS or whatever. And what would qualify as GPS? It has to meet requirements. And so you got tons of letters from many of you, and they stopped it. They said, all right, we're sorry. So you don't have to have GPS. I think you should use it. But it currently is not required in Virginia for you to run GPS to get into Virginia. So, because it was going to cost everybody a ton of money and stuff. You see these old company trucks running intermodal on Memphis. Oh, it's still painted in the old colors. I just love it. Preacher Paul, is domestic terrorism? It seems to be, right? You can't just loot and burn buildings down, even if it is a Walmart. Creepy Joe, maybe a stupid question. Do locomotive drivers get home every day? That's what I'm wondering, too. Do locomotive drivers get home every day? Al John says, that's your Delilah. That was the cat's name, right? She's so cute. Shaved a few videos off the old driver training course at Fleet Nav Systems to make it faster and more condensed, like milk. And this one has new memes for you all. Memes and some Easter eggs. I'm still waiting to find the Star Trek Easter egg. I've looked, too, so don't know what it is. Can't find it. Charles Bailey is Beetle Bailey's grandson. He took over the business when his old man retired. Oh, so he's the guy that started the trucking company on the Beetle Bailey thing. Got it. Recently purchased a shoulder-fired multi-launcher bazooka. Get some. Okay, that would be good. It needs to have a fast reload time, but again, I think you only need to get a couple of people and the rest of them run away. Would a flatbed strap tie-down bar be considered a weapon? Well, but the point of weapon or whatever, I think, right, and Fleet Nav, I'm not a lawyer, neither are they, but look, this is something you normally carry. Right, it's a you're not carrying this just to beat people with. This would be something you would have with you. So you can easily, it would seem like to me, say, well, I just have this and I grabbed it. You know, as opposed to I happen to have that with me, but I don't have a flatbed. They go, well, you don't have a flatbed. Anyone that attacks will meet Molly the Mallet. Bonk. That's kind of the rubber bullet kind of thing, if it's a rubber one. That would probably hurt. Used to watch a cat like that for some friends. She was the best. Al Johns. Yeah, they're very good. They're very talky. That's your Delilah. She plays fetch and has an attitude. Right. They have tortitude, those cats. They're super talky. But there's some GPS fails. There are. But I don't tell people to follow GPS. Don't just blindly follow your GPS. Look at the map. Look at the overview. And look at a satellite view of where you're going if you don't know where you're going. See which driveway you're supposed to go in, because their address may not be where trucks go. Okay, their address is down this street, but you need to go straight and go in the second driveway. That's where the trucks are. And then give the place a call and say, hey, I'm coming in with the truck. How do you get trucks in there? And then you can use your GPS so that you know, okay, this street that I need to turn on, when they're unlabeled, I don't know which street it is, but at night it tells you which street it is. It's not this one, it's the next one. So it just is to assist you. There are fails because people follow it blindly without thinking. They just type in an address and go, and it can't work that way. Benji, my aunt worked for NS Norfolk Southern, 32 years. New people get home twice a week. More senior engineers get home every night. All right, so kind of like driving. I carry a straight claw hammer. That'd be a lethal weapon right there. You got to get in close with that, though. Cats that play fetch are the best. Yeah, I don't know how you get that. She's like a tomboy. Penelope is a diva. Okay. Anything can be considered a weapon depends on you use it. Yeah, that's correct. But you can certainly make the point to say, well, I have this thing to strap down my flatbed. I have this equipment. So it's not like I'm only carrying this because I intend to use it as a weapon. That's what I'm saying on that. Alexandra, what is your favorite Star Trek series? Well, of course, the original series, because that started everything. That started my journey of Star Trek. And then, of course, Next Generation. And there was tons of good episodes of Next Generation as well. I've seen all of them, by the way. Trucking Journeys, at the end of the month, I'm going to send you a couple of paycheck stubs. All right. 3 weeks in a row, I've made close or more than $2,000. That is really good. And that's part of Hub Miles, where you work now. And at Hub Miles is really good money. But I thought there's no money. We have to go burn libraries. Star Trek Easter egg is literally right there in the open. I've looked. And I even had the wife come over to one and look. Couldn't see it. We need to go watch Voyager to brush up and catch up. I've seen Voyager, but I'll have to watch it again. I love Voyager. Also, very good show. So I'll check through season 5 and see what you might be talking about. Stalin, Hitler, and Mao burn books. What's going on? Yeah, how are these people different than that? So, we can't have our kids learning things. I mean, come on. Burn down the library. And then, of course, who goes to the library? But still. Most of the people arrested in Minneapolis are not from there. That makes them domestic terrorism. Even if they were from there, I say that makes them domestic terrorists. I'm not a flatbedder, but you play one on TV. I think that flatbed tie-down thing would work good. This week, Dallas to Portland, then down to Louisiana, 4,400 miles. Wow. Now, does your company allow you to use the exemption, 4 hours of service, or do you still have to run legal? Buy Nerf gun and spike the Nerf projectiles. I don't know if there'd be enough juice behind that, right? There's not enough mass in a Nerf projectile to do any damage. And if you spiked it, it wouldn't have enough thrust, right? Big Huge Mike is here. If I come up to a line of protesters, I'm speeding up and getting on the horn. I'm nobody's victim. Yeah, you almost have to. People, because believe me, if they stop you, it's not going to turn out great. They're not stopping you to tell you, hey, this is a peaceful protest. Why don't you turn around and go another way? Okay, I don't think that's what's going to happen. Then they hand you a copy of, they hand you a magazine and you leave. The Watchtower. They go, here, also we want you to have this. Then you can leave. You can start out as a conductor and then move up to engineer at most railroad companies. But they don't lie to workers like a trucking company. I wish more trucking companies were a union. Me too. But drivers refuse to join a union, which I never understand when they're not being paid anything. I get it if you're getting good money or whatever, but once you sit somewhere for free and then they're presented with an opportunity to say, well, you don't have to sit here for nothing. You could join a union and get paid for your time. And they're like, oh, unions, it's for lazy people. Well, at least you get paid. So I'm all for it. But you can't get drivers to get in on it. I work on a line haul account, Justin, and my company may lose the account next year. I would like to stay on line haul. Any suggestions? If not, I plan on McLean Foods or Cisco Foods. That's not bad too. But you wherever you live, there's ABF and all these places do line haul, and a ton of smaller places do line haul. You'll have to put feelers out to be on a line haul from wherever you live. Ezekiel, your tortie never shuts up. I know we had a tortie too. I should have get a picture of her. And she was super talky. So where's the freight market at, Mark? Well, I don't know, because I do the same thing pretty much every day. So I don't know. It should be all over. That I haven't followed as much as a company driver, because I don't need to worry about getting freight, basically. Any opinions on the truck in Minnesota with the protesters? Yeah, the FedEx truck, yeah, that's a real problem, but he had to drive away. They're stealing stuff out of his truck. You can't do that. That's not a protest anymore. Okay, that's a mob, basically, to steal out of somebody's truck and put somebody's life in danger like that. They should have all been taken off the interstate. I always thought, why not a fire truck for this? Non-lethal. Get a fire truck and hose them off, everybody off the road. The interstate should remain open. If you want to protest, I'm all for it. Right? First Amendment, peaceful assembly. You don't get to peaceably assemble on the interstate. Sorry, it's been a while. Season 3. You'll find it in Voyager Season 3. Okay, I'll have to look. I've watched it. I've watched all of Voyagers when they came on. Wife taped them on VHS for me so I could watch them when I came home, but I've seen them all. Fifth wheel puller is a great weapon too. Oh, I don't have one. I have automatic release fifth wheel. I should go get one. 9, 12, and 45 are the most reliable numbers for a driver. Very good. 44 also. Talking to Domino's as a supply chain driver. Oh yeah, that or Papa John's, right? Money sounds good. Need to start practicing my hand truck before my test drive. Heard anything from their drivers? No, I've never heard from a Domino's driver. Any pizza drivers out here? What about Papa John's too? Any of those kind of places? And also, maybe not as much line haul, but what about gasoline deliveries? Pilot, Loves, all these different places need gasoline delivery drivers and diesel drivers. What about that? You'd still be back. eBay police are going to be busy going to... oh, right. They won't care. eBay won't care. A lot of the stuff that was taken, I think, will be sold on Craigslist locally. You're going to head out soon. Going to join tomorrow on the stream. If you want to put a question in front of Trooper Hoover, hoping to get some good questions, yeah. We need to get that information out there. 3 p.m. live tomorrow. Got Trooper Hoover, CMB officer. Give him some questions about guns and, what about if the road is closed and people start attacking your truck? That's a very good question for him, too. If you feel your life's in danger, what can you do? I'd like to know what a trooper thinks about that. From his perspective. We abide by normal regs, but because of the way they do payroll by hand here, nice. Last week ended to be 30,000 miles plus a couple of days layover and holdover, but I did some hourly work. Well, 3,000 plus a couple of days of layover, man, you must never stop driving when you're rolling. Chad, did I do something wrong or hit a button in an accident? Because around 12:55, I switched from an aux cord to an earpiece cord to my phone, and the video paused, but I can still see the live chat. I have no idea. I'm running an old Dell, and I'm not that up on stuff at all. You probably should boot out of it and come right back in. Nerf projectiles are 75 feet per second, but that's with the Nerf projectile. If you add mass to it, you're going to slow it down. So we'd have to do the calculations, but that's not going to provide a lot of energy when it hits somebody. This week I'm going to cut short by stopping at our factory to turn in the paperwork early, trucking journeys, and I'll finish my load to Louisiana. So I'll cut the week short to 4,000 plus a day over layover. That's crazy. That's like nonstop driving. We used to tape them on VHS. Had to put it on a long play to get the back-to-back recordings. That's correct. You could set it on, people don't know this, 2, 4, or 6 hours. So you could get a bunch of them on one tape. That's right. I still have a bunch of VHS tapes here, too. I know what Mark does. He hauls for carcass rendering facilities. George Wilson. That's just gross. I mean, to see that on bills or whatever. I do remember years ago hauling some load of meat that was... It was not frozen, though. It was like just refrigerated. It was boxed. But then after they unloaded it, it was like blood everywhere. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is totally gross. Right down to the Blue Beacon and wash that thing out. Yikes. And they're like, oh, just you, because they're like, oh, you can just sweep this out. I'm like, I'm not sweeping anything out. $56, 56 come $100 a day layover, $15.59 an hour. It's a weird amount. And they'll let you work in the factory and pay you for 10 hours if you do 5 hours, plus you get the $100. Awesome. This place is working crazy over there. I thought there's no jobs. I thought there's nothing to do in trucking, though. See, that's the thing. If you're really down at where you are and you can't live on what you're making, maybe you want to move around to somewhere else. Now, I don't really recommend it necessarily, but if you're down to where you can't pay your bills, you may have no choice. There's still stuff you can do. Carry protest signs in your truck. When you hit a crowd, hang out the window with maybe you'll get an open path. Oh, that's not a bad idea. That's actually not a bad idea. To hang and say, hey, yeah, I'm with you guys, right? Burn down those libraries. No more learning. That kind of thing. Eddie McFadden, good show today. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We hate learning. What do we want? No learning. When do we want it? Now. What's your opinion of the tanker truck thing? I don't think he should have run people over. It's one thing if they're attacking you. It's another thing if nothing's happening to you to go run people down. I think he's going to have a bigger problem than the FedEx guy. You should have stopped and waited. It's annoying, but you can't run people over, run into people like that. Nobody got injured. I guess nobody was injured in that one, other than the driver a little bit. Why not track the sale of stolen goods? The serial numbers are recorded. Yeah, I don't know why they won't do that, but I'm sure the police will be like, oh, there's so many, we won't be able to do it. And that's exactly what happens. Now, the phones, from what I understand, you couldn't use the phone anyway, because they went to an AT&T store, I guess, but they have the EMI number. I don't know what I'm talking about. But they're not going to be able to use the phones. But TVs and that, they'll just sell them, exactly. Wonder if I can set my prosthetic legs up as an assault cannon by taking the feet off. That'd be pretty good. You could also tack signs to them. So the other good thing about a prosthetic leg is you can just tack signs right to it. So that'd be really good. See you later, Fleet Nav Systems. Thanks for being here. Temp still good. GP Transco, 220, northbound on 65. Kelly, right, energy equals mass times velocity. That's very good. Yes. And so we're going to reduce the velocity of this thing when we increase its mass. And I think that because it's a Nerf gun, we're not going to get a lot of energy out of it. Making a delivery up in Snowflake, Arizona. Snowflake. Moving some equipment up a 40-acre hothouse growing medical marijuana. I guess it's legal there, Roger Pensky. But your place wouldn't care. They're like, just do it, right? The Princess of Dixie Hill. I'm in a small town. There were women protesting in town. When I drove by them, they shouted at me. Like bent over and their faces were close to my car window. What did they shout? I mean, what did they say to you when you drive by them? There's several companies hiring fleece purchase drivers only. I don't agree with it. I agree that it's fleece. If you're going to lease a truck, get it away from the company. Go to Kenworth or go to Freightliner or whatever and lease it yourself if you want to do that. Somewhere away from the motor carrier so that you have control of your equipment. That's what makes you money. You need to control it. Then you're all set. I have a delivery to make in the morning in Wheaton, Illinois. Do you think it would be safe to spend the night in Wheaton, or should I find a truck stop south of there? Oh, heck. I don't know anymore. I'd never thought last night that I'd hear anything going on in Lafayette. So I don't know where anywhere can be safe or anywhere is unsafe. There's been no truck stops, I guess, that I know of that had too many problems. So I don't know. Everywhere's a risk. There was a movie about a prosthetic machine gun leg. That'd be pretty good. You shot your own leg off. I swear if they'd have gotten in front of my car, they would have become a speed bump. What were they saying to you, though? I have an old 8-track I put in my 2013 Ram van. I've had a number of 8-tracks, and I keep a collection of them here. Long haul, 700 miles a day, exhausting. Only takes 3 days to get Dallas to Portland. As long as you get with it and stay on it, and the company rolls you on hub miles, you got it made. Apple could shut down and brick the phones that are stolen. Same with iPods and iPads. Yeah, I think Android can do that too. That's why I think taking a phone out of Best Buy is not a good idea. But you know what will happen? Is somebody will take this boxed phone and sell it on Craigslist for half price or whatever, and the next person will just buy it and then go try to activate it, and then they won't be able to activate it. That's vehicular homicide. It's self-defense if they're attacking you and not just beating the truck. Yeah, right, Kelly. Once the FedEx guy, they were on the truck and they had guns. There was a gun. They said that in the article. They're showing a gun to him and they're on the truck. I think, personally, I'd take off. I'm not going to risk that. But the tanker guy, there wasn't anybody around his truck. He was coming up to the group of people, and I think that's where his problem is. Michael Cole, good morning. What's going on? CJ Hudson, Mark, I respect your choice of never mentioning your company in your videos, but hope on your time there's son, I hope you reveal and review. Yes, I will say where it was, and they'll get a good review out of them. When I say the week, I meant the pay week, because the way they do their pay here is you have to turn it in by hand. Nice. They don't even do trip pack or any of that? Holy moly. I mean, even in the envelopes, they still do that? Am I behind the times? The truck can be a weapon. That's the thing. He weaponized the truck. You don't want to do that. Dispatch canceled a load going into Chicago and gave me one going to Cold Springs, Minnesota. Oh, great. They go, it's too dangerous in Chicago. Here's a load to Minnesota. James D. I was parked on Waterman Avenue in San Bernardino. Should have seen the looters. They hit the pawn shop, Subway, and sneaker store, but not the boot store. Again, Subway. Man, we are hungry from all this looting. Alexander's going to pick up ice cream. Well, that's an all right load. I hope you're going to wash in between that last gross load. Go and get a washout. I'm like, this ice cream tastes like pork byproducts. Cassius King Trucking. I just ordered a pair of swimming goggles and a giant can of bear mace. Not trying to defend freight, just my life. You know, bear mace might not be a bad idea either. I wonder if you can do that or not. Probably. I don't know. That's a good question for the officer. Red Monkey Trucking is here. Hello. I hope you're doing good out there and being safe in all this. Chris, they should run ride in Area 51, free the aliens. Yeah, I think that was the starting point of all this. I don't know why they didn't get out there. We have all the guns here in Arizona. It's completely safe. That's true. I didn't hear as many problems out there either. Chicago used to have some top driving jobs back in the day. Montgomery Ward's, Sears, Marshall Fields, T.J. Ryerson, just to name a few. Oh, yeah, Fields and Montgomery Ward. Those are department stores for those of you that were born this century or whatever. Yeah, those are some department stores. There used to be a Montgomery Ward's in Munster, just down the street from where I grew up. Last year I delivered electric bonds up to Vegas. Don't know if any aliens have bought them. Electric bonds. That sounds like a great name for a band. Oh, electric bongs. That'd be even better. At GP we sent ours in trip back. Okay, but not in an envelope, right? Or do they still do envelopes? Room in your yard for me, Mark. Yes, Isaacs. Gracie and Fuzzy Nugget could play mice together. Yes. You could teach Gracie to hunt. She's been spoiled just getting her food handed to her. Big, huge Mike server, they were trying to break in the FedEx truck. I would have ran over as many of them as I could. For that guy, it's different. They were trying to get in his truck. He's got to leave for fear of his own life. That'd be my take on it. Yeah, I agree. The tanker was different guy. All he has to say is he was in fear of losing his life. Yeah, there's something to that. There were people there with guns, according to the article. And so that would be enough, I would think, for anybody to be in fear of their life. I'm just leaving the scene. And he had really no way to know there was somebody in between the trailers. I'm giving up over the road to drive a dump truck. Sick of the nonsense. You won't have to worry about sleeping anywhere, I guess. What statute prevents us from carrying protection? See, I'm not up on the gun. Each all different. So there are people on here that are way more on the gun laws than me. I do think it's a good question to ask the officer tomorrow, which should be the name of the show. The last load on this trailer was ice cream. This is a dedicated ice cream lane you're working. Oh, okay, good. Dedicated ice cream lane. But that sounds like a great thing to do. So you just fill up the reefer and off you go. You just need to follow all the carry laws of each state. And if you're a company driver, your company needs to authorize it. Now, people carry, I know, without their company, but you could be terminated for it, like my company and many companies have a policy of no guns. So if you get caught with it, you'd be fired, certainly. How would they catch you? I don't know about that. Just saying that it is a risk to be terminated. They get on the hood and kick in the windshield, yell ramming speed. It's not a great idea to stand in front of a semi. They're very bold that way. Let them stand in front of a employment office. Get into an accident, still have 12 points. So I need to start looking for a new job. Got into an accident. What does your company say? Are they going to keep you on? If they keep you, then I would sit there until the points go off. Otherwise, 12 points, you're going to be calling Western. Cash is King Trucking. I buy phones from people on Craigslist, but I call AT&T right there before I give them the money and make sure the phone is able to be activated. Yeah, many people won't do that though, right? That's a good way to do it and make sure the phone's legit. Then you got a good deal. Well, you might still be stolen, but at least you got a good deal. But people will just be like, oh, right, this is just give me the money and here's the phone. And they'll say, oh, because of social distancing, we can't stay here. That's what the people are going to say. So they're just going to set the phone down, kind of like a hostage exchange, and leave. And people are going to get stuck with a lot of this stuff. Yeah, believe me, that's how it's going to work. Your company is don't ask, don't tell for guns, presumably. You need to change your horn to an ice cream truck. Oh, that would be great. You should have the ice cream chime like you're the ice cream person coming in. That would be super great when you go into a place. So the hours of service going to affect September 29th. And the FMCSA came out and said, look, this is going to save $274 million for the industry. But you know how they're doing that? It's got to come out of drivers' pay. Because they're saying that's going to make the industry more efficient, meaning you're going to be able to work more every day, and I fear that a lot of it is going to be unpaid. The 2 and 3 hour break that now doesn't take away from your 14 hours is going to become work time, where they're going to want you to do it at a shipper or receiver or whatever. And they'll say, oh yeah, so what, you're on the dock, you can just put it on sleeper and you don't have to worry about that 2 or 3 extra hours. And so there'll be less pressure on companies to pay you for all of your time. It's kind of a disappointment. The money that's being saved is not going to drivers, it's going to companies. If a protester blocks Henry, or if a protester blocks my way, I will run them down. You block a freeway, you get what's coming to you. See, if they're not bothering you, I wouldn't run people over. You're taking a big risk at that. But look, you got to do you, but I don't recommend that. If people are around your truck, that's another story. The companies can, like shippers or receivers, prohibit firearms on their property. Also, state laws about how it can be carried vary, so you can find yourself in trouble. I know, it's really a risk. That's why I don't really recommend it to people. Unless you are in only certain areas. Otherwise, you have all these different laws that overlap each other. It's really a problem. It can really get you in trouble quickly. I say hit them with a bear mace and then ask questions later. Yeah, what are they going to do about that? How many squirts do you get out of a bear mace? Blow dart gun dip the dart gun in tranquilizer. Oh, that'd be great. You get this 12-foot blow dart that you get out of there. Right. And then and you got to reload it. There's 100 protesters, remember. Black powder revolver is always a good option, I guess. That'd be pretty dramatic. My dad used to reenact the Civil War. So he had a black powder 45. And when they were out there reenacting that stuff, they shoot that. Oh, my gosh. So much smoke. So that would be really good. That'd be a really good option to shoot that thing. Just the dramaticness of the shot. You better hope they're close. His pistol was not accurate. Roger Penske, get a law and pay him what he wants to make the ticket go away. You do need a lawyer, right. The Bull Holland Bulldog. It's perfectly legal to carry a gun in your truck if you have a concealed carry. You just have to make sure every state you go honors your state's concealed carry. If it is against your company policy, don't tell them. That's true. All I'm saying is if you don't tell them and they find out about it, you'll almost certainly be fired. So you are running a risk of getting fired by carrying a gun in the truck if it's not allowed by your company. I agree. I thought the new hours of service was going to face lawsuits by highway safety groups. They have 30 days. Highway safety groups, or really anybody, has 30 days from the date of publication of the law to file a lawsuit. So it was June 29th, or May 29th, it was posted in the Federal Register. So they have 30 days from that day to file a lawsuit. So we have until the end of this month to get through to see if anybody will file a lawsuit and see if the date is delayed. So as of right now, there's no delay, but they really have had only the weekend, which you can't really file a lawsuit on. So currently September 29th will be the date that it goes into effect, but they have 30 days from publication to file a suit. So you wait. Their time now is ticking down, and they're going to have to decide if they're going to file anything. I think somebody's going to file something. Which carriers pay hourly? A lot of them pay hourly. You'll have to call each one, and some, even mega carriers, pay hourly for their local drivers, and then they have mileage rates for over-the-road drivers. Look for anybody in the day cab. Probably at least half of them or more are getting hourly pay. I carried over-the-road for years, and a driver got robbed in Nashville and the Dallas Flying J, but only one company said it wasn't a problem. The safety guy was a former driver. Yeah, I mean, but all I'm saying is they generally have a policy against it. They might still let you go on it. Tranquilizer are a bad idea because it goes by weight and species and are PCP based. Plus, a dart gun, a blow dart gun especially, is not a great self-defense weapon. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, but right. So you get one shot out of the bear spray. Christine, that big container is one shot, that's it. What if there's 4 bears? If you're an owner-operator, CASA law applies on carried firearms. It's your place of business. So you can have a weapon. That's interesting. Place of business, as long as the weapon, if it's registered. Oh, that'd be interesting. That'd be an interesting argument. I don't know how that would go over. But you're saying, oh, this is my business location? I didn't ask that cop on the sidewalk to yell at me. I considered her a threat, and she scared me and my dog on a peaceful Saturday morning, driving a Honda Civic. I love it. I don't know. What was she mad about? That's the thing. Better be fired than dead. Now, that's another side of it. That is true. I'm just trying to give people all the sides of it. U.S. Concealed Carry Association is the USCCA. Roger Penske, all right? Making sandwich for a man. There are several companies that pay by the hour, but you have to do your research and find them, and don't just fall in your lap. Also, don't forget, when you find a company that pays by the hour, ask them if they pay overtime, because they're not required to pay overtime. So that's going to make a big difference, especially if you start getting considerably past 40 hours. 50. If they're going to want you to run 60 hours a week, you're going to want overtime. So make sure that they pay overtime. Some do, some don't. They don't have to, but some still pay it. It can change your pay dramatically. Black powder matters. That'd be a good sign. People would know what you're talking about. I'd tell them, go get a book about it, but they can't. They go, we can't, the library's burning. Drop a bucket of ball bearings on the ground. Oh, that'd be interesting. Hopefully that would work. Just carry a big water gun with pepper spray in it. That'd be another good one. WD-40 in a match. That's not, no one suspects it. Yeah, you're going to need like a Zippo or something, though. There's a lot of people out there. You need to have 4 cans of it or maybe split it up. Really? So bear spray is $50 a can and you get one shot? $50, one shot. I guess they think it's enough where it will deter bears in the area that may be with the initial bear to back off. I mean, I thought you could get like a regular pepper spray. You get multiple shots. You get one shot to save your life. I guess it's enough. They figure you'll do that and then run away. They will file 2 days before to delay the hours of service. Yeah, they have until basically the end of June to file any lawsuits to delay it. And probably when they file, it will get delayed. The judge will say, okay, let's stop this until we can solve these lawsuits. Probably. We'll see what they say. What about the big rumor about carrying a firearm in a hazmat truck is a federal felony? I don't know. I don't see if that matters or not. See, I'm not up on the gun laws. There's somebody here, believe me, that knows these gun laws better than me, which is virtually zero. Urinate in a super soaker water gun. That's gross, and I don't know that would stop anybody from coming in your truck. I mean, they would just be grossed out with it. Go and no bathing. People won't get near you if you smell terribly. Well, that's a lot of drivers that are protecting themselves and have been ever since I've been driving. They're like, you know what? In case there's ever looting or rioting, protesting, nobody will bother me. I won't have any problems, and I'm saving all the shower money. And they have probably this big stack of shower coupons in their truck that they haven't used all the way. Oh, this 76? You don't have a shower? You have a shower coupon? Right. Oh, great. From the 76. Uday, what's going on? Hello there. It's good to see you today. Okay, so the ATA says the driver shortage is over. Oh, the DOT, that's what I meant to tell you. The DOT is going to send you masks. They're going to distribute 2.5 million masks to drivers, and this is a quote, via the U.S. Postal Service, unquote. Now, that didn't specify anything beyond that, but presumably, this is what I assume, since they didn't say, they're going to go through, see who has a CDL, and mail them masks. Okay, so I don't know what that means, but look through your mailbox for masks, I guess. They made a news article about it. So you may be getting a mask or a pack of masks in the mail because it says through the U.S. Postal Service. Well, that's how they're going to distribute masks to drivers. So I don't know what kind of quality they're going to be. No idea. Riders will already be smelly. Yes, they'll smell like different things. Your great Christina, my great uncle started Bowhunter magazine. Really? And he told me that one spray per bottle. I have it here at home for protection, but it's once. And is it pepper spray? Is it mace? What's in it? But one spray. That means it's pretty big. I just assumed that it's going to give you multiple sprays. So it's kind of like you open it and bingo, it's all out. Kind of like fogging your house for bugs. Benji Saber Gel is the best bear mace out there. It's really oily, so it can't be whipped away. But if it's one shot, that's not great for you. You have a lot of protesters. You'll clear a small space, but it's kind of like swatting at a bee. You make the rest of them mad. Use the hunting scent skunk. Does that spray? Is that a sprayable thing? The mask will probably be Chinese-made cheapies. I agree with you, but that's what we got passed out at my company. When they just a few weeks ago, they finally came out and said, you know what? Here's some masks for everybody. And they're Chinese masks. They gave everybody a pack of masks. And I look in there and there's a little tag and it's in Chinese. I'm like, holy mackerel, they're Chinese masks. And I come to find out in that same article that the DOT distributed millions of masks to carriers. So likely these masks are from the DOT. And the company's super cheap. And so they're like, oh, let drivers get their own mask or whatever. They don't need to wear anything. And they finally got these masks, so they distributed masks to everybody. And there was 5 of them in there. It seems like there are 5 in the package. They're just super. I put one on, and the end of it flew off. I thought, well, there's one down already, because they require them now that everybody has a mask, they're required to come in the building, and so the mask goes flying up. But they're Chinese. The whole pack is probably $1 at the most. They couldn't buy their own masks or whatever. Ridiculous. Can somebody point out the mail chute on my International? The mail chute? I can't find it in the owner's manual. Where's the mail chute on those trucks? Just get wasp spray, shot 20 feet. It's similar to bear spray. Something like a wasp spray or whatever would probably deter people from coming near your truck. If it could spray out in some type of stream-ish, because you don't want it to... These kind of sprays and that are a problem because you don't want them coming back on you. You don't want them to come back on you. I have some spray, which it's made from some kind of flower. I should look it up. Mark, you're never prepared. I know, I didn't know we would talk about that. For when I ride my bike to work, I have dog spray. Okay, and you get it, any pet store has it. I got to go find the name of it. It comes out as a stream so that it doesn't come back on you. And it doesn't hurt the dog. It just annoys the dog. I've used it a couple of times, but you get multiple uses out of it. And it's for walking or whatever. And so if you get a dog, you can spray this stuff at it, and it works. It works great. They take off right away. But it's a stream so that it doesn't come back. You wouldn't want to tear gas the dog because you'll tear gas yourself in the wind. So I'd be concerned about that. If the bear eats you, do you get your money back? Yes. Aviator, trucker, Chinese poison stars. Oh, Chinese poison throwing stars. That's not a bad idea. I think somebody might have those in their truck. Watch bear repellent videos and you get more than one shot. I guess maybe it depends on the bear repellent. I have no idea what's in it. I thought something like mace. Okay. Are hours of service still suspended? Yes, through June 14th. If you're on an exempt load, not just for everybody. But if you're running an exempt loading, I mean, you can work the system and get those every time. There's still money to be made for the next 2 weeks for you where you don't have to log anything. $3.90 to $3.99 is suspended. So all kinds of rules are suspended. We need to get Dominique the dump truck on here from the Seattle area. Yeah, who's that? Is that another YouTube channel? I've had 2 bear sprays. Way more than one shot will stop a pit bull. Okay, they have dog spray for that kind of stuff. Big huge Mike, I haven't had to wear a mask yet, and I don't plan on it. And not to mention, they have 30 days when they give an executive order to pass it as a law, and if not passed, it's null and void. Yeah, but a company can write their own policy. So what they're saying here is that when you go in our building, you got to have a mask on. But they didn't put that out until they got these free masks from the DOT, so I love it. They're also limiting the people in the building, but you don't know how many people are in the building until you go in the building. So I love that too. There's no way from outside the building to know if you should come inside the building. It doesn't make any sense. The pandemic is over. Yeah, nobody's dying of that anymore. Now it's all this for another couple days. I see that people are starting to die of other things, so that's nice. Because for 2 months, no one died of anything except the Rona. WD-40 is non-flammable nowadays. Oh, that would stink. China masks, no thank you. Yeah, they handed them out free, and they're from China, believe me. They're super cheap. Benji, trucking needs to get better. There are way too many low-paying companies out here, or companies that require a lot of free work. Trucking was okay before deregulation, but afterwards unions disappeared. Well, the problem, I agree with you that companies should pay better, but the problem of regulation is that the pay was artificially inflated at that time because the government wouldn't allow new companies to open up. So on a certain lane, Chicago to St. Louis or whatever, if you wanted to run that lane before deregulation, you had to go to the government and prove that there was a need for you to run that lane. And until you could do that, the people that are on that lane could basically charge whatever they wanted. You couldn't just start running that lane. And that artificially inflated prices because the government held back the supply of trucks. And so now once deregulation, it's basically now a free market, which is what it should have always been. And now the rate is what it is. The problem with low-paying companies is nobody should work there. Once you're sitting 10, 20, 30 hours a week for nothing, that should be your clue, a cue to you to say, you know what, I quit. Because you only get what you accept. So don't accept not being paid. Don't accept 27 cents at some companies, 47 at another. There's no reason to work for such a little amount of money. And then not paid detention and not paid layover and all this other stuff. You don't have to do that. So it's up to the people to not accept it. How about that? We got to head out. Thanks for the show, Mark. Be safe, everyone. Thank you for being here, GP Transco. People want to be treated like a professional, as we're just talking about. Let's talk to GP Transco. And so you can make a decent check at a company that actually treats you like a professional driver, all right? Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Let's see. Poly Trucking gave me a super cool looking white cloth mask with some kind of diamond design on it. Oh, is it from Swift? Are you a diamond Swift driver too then? That'd be great. I wonder if Swift is doing that. Do their masks have diamonds on them? Please tell me they have diamonds on them. Wasp spray will work in a pinch if you're anti-gun. I'm not anti-gun. I just think it's easier to carry wasp spray in your truck than it is to carry a gun in your truck. But you got the blowback problem with the air. They're required for work in the factory, which is what I was doing last night. Yeah, so you have no choice. Do you have to wear a mask over the mask if you're hauling anhydrous ammonia? Yikes. You probably already have all your PPE that you need. Just don't stop. You need to keep doing it, right? I've been on PC for 2 months, right? You got another 2 weeks of it. There's several people on here doing it. No problem. As long as you're hauling these loads, you got it made. It's the only time this has ever happened like this nationwide for 3 months at a time. It may never happen again. There's bear spray on Amazon that is multiple burst spray. If you have an 80,000 pound weapon, use it. Don't stop. As long as people are attacking your truck. I mean, it's a fine line to just run through people that aren't doing anything to you. You become the aggressor. Grill lighter and ether? Wow. That's pretty rough. Medical reefer, definitely a necessity. Exactly. When is the next crap company of the week? Yeah, who knows? Almost every day a new one pops up, right? I'm here. I'm not absent. Kenneth P., thank you for being here. Tell us, Mark, when you ride your cool, you don't wear one of those cockroach helmets. When you ride your cool, what's a cockroach helmet and what's a cool? Give Gracie these treats. Oh, if it's Swift, it's not diamonds, it's cubic zirconia. Well, you know, they have that Swift diamond driver that I've seen on the trucks, and please tell me that those drivers get a mask with a diamond on it also. Maybe even one that says diamond drivers on it or something. Oh my gosh. If somebody has a picture of that, can you get a picture of a Swift driver in a diamond driver mask? The tanker driver's been released. All right. That's really something. So I'll have to read about that. Do you know what the story is? Is he released without charges? Is he released on his own recognizance to come back and face charges? What's happening with that? Place a mannequin of a zombie in the driver's seat where you sleep. No one will climb on your truck. Maybe. Plus, you can use the HOV lane. Let's go protest and burn trucks until rates come up. That's one way to do it. This kind of thing that stops freight is not going to help your rates, right? So less freight even is going to be ordered. With targets are closing, rates come back down again. Too many trucks in the market. You don't want this. You know, more of you would run a CB than you would know what is ahead of you. Wrecks and dumb people in the road. Then you can just go around them or tell someone else what's up. I totally agree with you. People that are getting into this didn't have their CB on. They also should be running traffic on either Google Traffic, Google Maps or whatever, and you'd see this big red spot on the road, which basically turns almost black on the road where traffic stops. And you'd be like, oh, I wonder what that is. Maybe I should check it out. Totally agree. JD, I've got a double-sided battle axe. They'll take arms off. Wow. So you're out there fighting with axes? Wow. 10 miles to West Lafayette, right up the street here. Kelly, wasp spray produces electrochemical charge of about 50,000 volts. Really? That would be really something to see. Oh, George Wilson talking about your biking, Mark. Oh, no. So what is a Rocha? Is that one of those helmets with the lines on it or something? There was a DOT company name on a truck number on the tanker truck. Yeah, I'm sure there was. I paced a May trucking some at 63. I think I should report him to the safety department. He probably had visited the diesel doctor, and even the diesel doctor's like, look, 63 is all you're going to be able to handle at this place. That's the best I could do for you. And he's like, I'll be the fastest truck around. Michael Cole, my wife said when the virus hit that the next thing would be zombies. Then she saw footage of just like World War Z. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. The next thing is, so here we are, June. This is June. I thought it was going to be murder hornets. Those are out of the picture, I guess. And now it's basically zombies everywhere because it only happens at night. Waze and Garmin GPS have traffic available on them. Yeah, I don't like Waze as much because there's too many reports that sit on there too long. I like Google Maps. It's very accurate because it measures the speed of all Android phones, which are the majority of phones. 53 or something percent of phones are Android. So it takes and measures the speed of all these phones, whether people are using maps or not, and then compares it to the speed limit of the road that they are on and puts it on the map. And so it's very fast. When you get slowed down in traffic, you can see the map change colors like basically right in front of your eyes. I like the way that it works. I think Waze is owned by Google now as well. Trucking Journeys. Try to stop at your nearest Loves and buy a suit of armor. Too late. Cash is King Trucking bought them up with all of his points that he's been getting. Just came into Columbus, Ohio, and cops on the overpasses. People throwing rocks off of them. Just an FYI passing through. Yeah, I was concerned about that, especially at night. That there's going to be people on the overpasses. I totally agree, right. It was the Keenan owner-operator, and I'm sure they cut his contract this morning. The interstates were shut down. Oh. They might have cut him, right. But I'd like to know what the police are doing to him. Like they said, that's better to be fired than dead. So what happened to him in the police? I haven't read anything more about it. The truck was torn up and not drivable. Wow. Did the people damage it? It didn't look like he had... They said nobody got hurt, so... Cash King Trucking, I'm currently getting 9.2 miles per gallon on a load from Illinois to Louisiana. That's really good. So there you are, running, no hours of service, 9.2 miles to the gallon. Unbelievable. You're doing pretty good. Too bad you have that $1,800 lease payment that you said, because you leased from a Prime driver that had leased from Prime. You're subleasing from Prime, I think. So that was a real problem. But otherwise, you're doing pretty good, I think. Coming in June, shark-headed seagulls. Yeah, what's next? What's going to kill us next? It turns out we're going to kill each other. It's not all these outside things that'll kill us. It's all the internal strife that'll kill us. That's why, even as a Star Trek fan, which is not necessarily trucking, but I don't know if we'll ever get there. We can't squabble like this and then, go beyond where we are. We have to work all together. I can make mail armor, just need about a month to make a suit while I do my 10 hours. Yeah, you need that today, though. We got to have that today. Yes, in Columbus, cops said the roads closed. No reason given. That's why. People are worried about people throwing stuff off of overpasses, so that's the end of truck drivers. Police should be on every overpass. The interstates, especially at night, are going to get really dangerous. There's no way to just be careful about it. Stuff can come through your windshield. It's a little scary. Trucking Journeys got a message from Polly that says they'll pay us extra to go around cities instead of through them. Do the routes. Well, you kind of would get extra, right? Because if you are on hub miles, you should get extra anyway, right? So if you went around, you'd get the extra money. Unless they're giving like a bonus, like a certain amount of money, you're going to get the extra money. One of the benefits of being on hub miles, you don't have to go ask them for extra money. They'll just give you the money. Always running hazmat on mileage, like if you have to go around Indianapolis, you have to say, look, you have to route me around town. Oh, right, we forgot to do that or whatever. They always conveniently forget it. But on hub miles, you don't have that problem. They don't have to worry about that. Did anybody get these masks, by the way? Because I just heard about it, and I don't know. No one has said anything, so I'm just wondering if anybody's already gotten these masks in the mail. Because it didn't really explain it, so I don't know where they are. Cashing sublease on a lease purchase truck. Prime and Searing, they're cutting you a check for that idea right now. Hey, you guys can sublease that truck to another driver and make some money. You can grow a whole fleet that way and never have to drive. This is the Dave Delgado subleasing program. And who remembers Dave Delgado? Anybody? Did I catch the rocket launch? Deliver cryogenics to SpaceX. I saw it on replay. Super cool, of course, as a big space fan. That should be me in there, but it isn't. I would have gone in the Space Force had they had it then. And Elon Musk is going to send people to Mars. He said it, and I believe him because he thinks he can do it. That's the only difference between him and everybody else. People that want to do something go, I can't do that. And he's like, why can't I do that? And so he's like, I'm going to build a car company, he does it. I'm going to bore a hole through the planet, he does it. I'm going to build semis. They're coming out here later this year, right? Early next year. Everything. He's going to space. It was the most amazing thing. Private company docks with the space station. And that takes away everybody's argument of, oh, well, how are roads going to be taken care of if there's not the government? How are you going to get to space without the government? Private. That's why. He starts the United Federation of Planets. We should be able to carry shotguns. Yeah, we should be able to carry something. You're going to need a lot of shots. I mean, you're going to need 2 Glocks, right? There were a lot of people out there. Too many people forget what happened to Reginald Denny, or however you spell his name. If you truly fear for your life, do whatever it takes to make it home to your family. Jobs are a dime a dozen. I agree. Look, that guy should have never stopped. He lived through that, but he has lifelong problems, medical problems. If somebody's attacking you, they were throwing stuff at him, okay? He, I think, not being a lawyer, had perfect reason to keep going. And if people are in his way, he has to get out of there to save his own life. Absolutely. And we forget that. Don't think, oh, I'm going to hurt somebody. All right, they're going to kill you. So always think about that you are a priority. Aviator Trucker was recruited by May Trucking. When they told me what they had to offer, I told them, I may not be working for you. Oh, what were they offering when they talked to you? Anything great? I know they're big on providing pizza at truck schools. People write to me all the time, year-round, that May Trucking provides pizza and recruiters at truck schools nationwide to talk to people. So they jumped on and kicked out the windows and sliced interior. Yikes. See, that's not great. Time to get moving. Nikola makes a good semi also. Yeah, the Nikola semi, I just read about that. It's going to be coming out, and I guess on that one, what they said, one payment includes everything, including maintenance. All maintenance, the whole time you have it, is included in the price of the truck. Yeah, another interesting looking truck. Yep, I agree. They're looking for volunteers to go to Mars one way. As I wrote to somebody a couple weeks ago, we were actually talking about this. I signed up, and I've talked about this on here, for Mars One. It's a program that was started a couple years ago to send one person one way to Mars, and I signed up for it. I said, I'm in. They cut people right. I've been cut out of the program to be the first person to go, but I was in to go one way to Mars. Somebody has to go, and if you make it, you change the history of the whole plan. Even if you don't make it, there's always learning. There's always a risk and everything. So there's always learning, and I was willing to go to Mars one way. Absolutely. I signed up for it. Mars One. I support the program. I think it's a great idea. It's our next step. I would be worried if he starts building a space station up there. I have watched James Bond. Look, I wouldn't put it past that guy. He's already got a car up there. Remember, he sent a Tesla Roadster into space. So why not? And that's typical America, too. Wherever we go, there's cars. There's cars laying around on the moon. There's a car floating around in space. There's cars on Mars already. Everywhere we go, we have vehicles all over the place. Delivering fuel in Ferguson, Missouri. Unpacking a big lunch. You're going to need to pack more than a lunch if you're delivering at night. I feel bad because when I'm coming home, there's always somebody delivering to Texas Roadhouse, which I drive by. And sometimes it's like 3, 4 in the morning. I'm like, holy mackerel. It's dark. One truck, nothing around. Yikes. They did kill that business owner who was trying to protect his business. Literally stomped him to death and reached in his pockets after he was dead to steal what he had on him. Okay. Is that part of a protest too, everybody? If there's any protesters listening, is that how we protest? And how does that further your message? It doesn't. Cassius King, if you got a shotgun, I don't think you need many shots. You shoot one person right in the crotch, everyone else goes about their business. Yeah, that's always the thought. But the problem is, in these kind of protests, there's people in there with guns too. Usually some of the protesters are armed, and so some of them get a little bold and start shooting back. Of course, when you hold it sideways, not accurate, but still, agree. Schneider's looking for lease purchase drivers to go to the moon. Dedicated 17 cents with no DOT regulations. Yeah, and they probably still wouldn't even pay that. Is being married really bad enough to try for a one-way ticket to Mars? Space has always been my dream, and a one-way ticket to Mars, it would really be incredible. You wouldn't just be changing you're changing history for everyone. They would talk about you forever. You'd be in the books, and that would be your legacy to live on. Because remember, you either die a legend or you die nobody. That's what I've always said, okay? You die a legend or you die nobody. So why not chance it? Why not take the risk to go to Mars? Take a risk. That's what people have learned in this whole Rona thing that are off. Oh, I wish I'd have done something. Well, go do it. What are you waiting for? And so I signed up for it. But probably because of they didn't want somebody in their extreme upper 30s because they're not ready to go yet. So the people that they have that are in the program, I think there's 100 left now that they whittled down to. They're people in their 30s, extreme lower 30s. So that's what I think they're thinking. Hope they find the 3 person on Mars. Total Recall shouldn't have come up with that. Yeah, maybe they're up there. You never know. But we need to go. One way or another. One way means you're not coming back, George Wilson. That's correct. One person, one way. Because they find when they put several people together in a capsule like that and send them for 9 months, they all fight with each other. They couldn't even do it here in when they built that biodome thing out in, I think it was in Arizona, honestly. Even those people couldn't get along, and they were here on the planet. So Mars 1 was like one person. Has to be 2 people so you can procreate. No, it's the idea of we don't need to procreate. We need to get things set up so more people can come. You're not the Adam and Eve of Mars. It's just going to be like the next step on our way to the stars, which rhymed. They have to go to Mars. Sometimes this century will run out of Mars bars. I know. That's where you go get them. You would get the thing set up, though, really, is what you're doing. They would send food and stuff in advance, and then you would set it up, and they would send more people, and you're the first one. I guess you name it Markville or whatever. I don't know what you name it. But that's what I would name it, probably. Pluck one of their eyes out, and the attitude of the whole crowd will change. Well, the problem is that there's enough people, and they're mad enough. This isn't, just a regular crowd. I'd say my guess is 35 to 50% of the people are armed in the crowd. So you're going to need to drop a couple people and take off because they're going to start shooting back at you. And we don't have this, Clint Eastwood type vehicle that the gauntlet, that kind of thing. You just have a semi and it's not going to protect you. You got to get out of there. And there's a lot of people. Alexander, sorry you had to hop off for a while. This shipper can be not great. Yeah, I was considering you when someone mentioned poisoned Chinese throwing stars, so I thought that'd be an even better way to protect yourself. SpaceX is like the Concorde for space. Oh, out of commission? Too loud for most airports? 172 smells like smoke, but no airborne. Reference sighting. I wonder what smells like smoke, but no airborne. I don't know what that... I'm off of that. I don't know what that means totally. Roger Penske. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 3 and 8. The U.S. government is supposed to regulate interstate commerce and build and maintain the roads. I know, but the question always is that people say, oh, how will we have roads if not for the government? Because, of privatization. What are we going to do without the government? Well, what are we going to do without the government to get to space? We can get to space. We can build our own roads. All that kind of thing can be done. We don't necessarily need all the government. And regulating interstate commerce, they certainly weren't regulating it with all these people stopping traffic. The government should then get out there and regulate commerce and let commerce go through. They were talking about in Minnesota, if you saw the state police, the Minnesota State Police said the tanker driver, ran through people that were having a peaceful protest. I don't think you can be on the interstate and have a peaceful protest. You're blocking traffic. Just by you being there, you should be hosed off of there. They should just run a fire truck down and hose everybody off the road. Go protest in front of the government building where it should be. So many keyboard warriors at Facebook. It's different when you're in an actual situation. It's not a video game. That's true. Elon Musk is getting into solar energy. Yes, he's done that. He would build a pipeline to the sun. Plans on working at night. It will be cooler. That's pretty good. Look, if he thought that was something plausible that he could do, and he wanted to do it, he would do it. Unlike most people who come up with an idea and then think of all the ways it can't work, and then don't do it, and then regret it later. He built a gigantic hole in the planet. Space doesn't need eminent domain. He's going to have to get it. Sorry, we have to take over your eminent domain. Alexander will be all for having some poisoned Chinese throwing stars. I'm going to see about getting a new knife. I got a bonus last week. Good. Knife bonus. I'm wanting to add to my knife collection. This might be a good time to add that to that collection. People are saying that Amazon trucks are being called back. You may not want to order from Amazon. You'll have to go to Knives R Us or some kind of local store that hasn't been looted yet. Because 4 guns over here in Lafayette got hit last night too. Although the police, I guess, come and protected that place. Don't forget Starlink, must internet from space. That's correct. He's putting up internet from space, so the whole planet will have internet. Fast enough internet, he says, from space to play games and do live things because the current system, HughesNet, is too far away. There's too much ping on it. 120 something miles or something like that up there. Starlink, absolutely. It's going to provide internet to the entire planet. Mr. Bean is going to convert an AK-47 to automatic just in case people ride on my property. Yeah, you're going to want to do that on the down low, I think. The Princess of Dixie Hill. I just saw where Hong Kong is spraying people with blue color dye that are looting and causing trouble. Oh, that's great. I think, though, in countries like that, social pressure is bigger than it is here. Here, it would be probably seen as some kind of sign of bravery. Oh, I went and got sprayed blue. There, everybody will avoid you like the... like you've been in a movie, like you've been in an Avatar movie. I just step out of my truck wearing my medieval armor and say, hear ye, hear ye. The people will stop, too, because you'll be the only one that can read since they burned down the libraries. So if you read from something, you'll be okay. Kelly Patterson, depending on which state you're in, just start throwing bags of pot out the window to distract the rioters and leave. They're like, oh, free pot. That's awesome. Except they probably wouldn't do that because it would interfere with their jobs. Kenneth, exactly. Protest in front of government buildings just like we do in Michigan. Especially without masks and with loaded weapons. Yes, exactly. Legally carried weapons. And masks, the government can't make you wear a mask. So I totally agree. It's mob mentality, logic, and no bearing. Yeah, once somebody starts throwing a brick, that's the end of it. What are your thoughts on the Tesla truck model Musk has created? I'm not a fan of electric trucks for long distance, but for local work, yeah. And from what I understand, GP Transco has one on order. So when it comes over, they said I can come and look at it. I'm going to go do a big video about it and stuff. But for local work, it's going to be great, right? Especially if you can plug back in. They're going to use theirs for local Chicago because they're right outside Chicago. Local work, no diesel. Less maintenance, certainly. Are these fake sign-on bonuses still at 8,000 and 10,000? No, those have come down. I rarely see a sign-on bonus now. Boom, those went away just like that. So if anybody was getting one, that was the time to get them. They're not fake. You can get the 10,000. Some places it takes 2 years. And you have to jump through a bunch of hoops. Yeah, but absolutely. The Walmart fire you referred to earlier. Oh, yeah, the one right here in town. Yep. Toilet bowl blue. Is that what they're spraying the people with? That stuff. I think here'd be great. It would be seen kind of like to increase your presence in your community or whatever. Over there in Hong Kong and that, no way. People would avoid you. The Bullholland Bulldog, I'm just waiting until I have a big load of rank cattle. Yikes. And they try to open it, and 36 mad Angus cattle start charging. Yeah, you're a truck they're not going to get near. At least you got that going for you. Yikes. I always even walk, several spots away from you. The governor of Minnesota needs to grow up here and take control of the situation. I don't understand why they're saying non-violent protesters when they're blocking the interstate. That's two things. Cough on them and say you have corona. Yeah, well, they were all masked up. Elon Musk's auto and space operations are not private. Uncle Sucker throws a lot of our dough his way. That's true, he does. And I don't think that the cars or anything should have any kind of subsidy on them. They should compete in the marketplace. I agree with that. It's interstate, federal, not intrastate. Putting people to work, Governor plans our 2,000 human traffic cones. Oh, that's good. Hey, at least they would have a job. Throw those counterfeit bills out the window and you hit a protest crowd. I'm still going to look that up later. I've never heard of such a thing. Throw one of the bottles at them. There are some drivers that have a whole collection of these. I'd love to own a middle-aged style broadsword with a hand sheath. But the problem is, with a broadsword, that's super cool. You're going to have a tough time fighting people off like out of your window, though. Because if you saw the FedEx driver, there are people like standing on the step. It's tough to get a broadsword moving around in the truck. You need something a little bit, I guess if you could step out of the truck, you want to take everybody on with a broadsword. I bet you'd make the news with that. That'd be very impressive. But it's going to be, I think you'd have a tough time defending the interior of your truck with that. No scales near Chicago. Are they closed today, or are those police on other duty? I said duty, too. Columbia, George, just joining, had a 10 a.m. delivery. How did that go? Because this is kind of, depending what the time zone was there, that is a considerable amount of time, depending when that started. Have you seen anything where you are there? Is there a problem? Do you need a broadsword? And did you hear that, since you're just joining, did you hear that the DOT apparently... they're going to send you masks in the mail. 2.1 million masks are being Delivered to drivers, as it said, through the U.S. Postal Service, which I have to mean, in government speak, means mailed to everyone. Electric vehicles wouldn't exist without some sort of government subsidy, then they shouldn't exist. If they wouldn't otherwise make the market, then they shouldn't make the market. I'm just saying I'm impressed with him, not tolerating the government's garbage out there. Oh, you can't open your business. Like, why not? And so he opened up anyway, and then they go, okay, you can open, which I thought was hilarious. The one in Fremont, he opened it anyhow a week early, and they said close, and he said no, and eventually they said, all right, that when you opened last week, that's okay that you opened up. If riders get sprayed with blue dye, it would go from Black Lives Matter to Smurf Lives Matter. We go Avatar Lives Matter. GP Trans go fluorescent green. Yeah, that blue dye wouldn't matter on their trucks that much. I like this idea of spraying people with dye. You can always come back and arrest them later. I think that's a good idea here. I think in Hong Kong, though, I think it works better for social pressure on you, that you're out creating problems for society. Here, we don't think it's a problem to block interstates and loot and everything. As far as I know in town, there weren't any arrests here. Oregon's pulling everyone in today. Oh, congratulations to that. They should be out protecting the public. Alexandra, that's where you get a heavy forearm guard. Wear that and hit them with your forearm in the butt of the sword. All right. See, you know all the tricks of this. We need Mad Max type of trucks with anti-riots. I think so. We're going to have to build, for people that saw The Gauntlet with Clint Eastwood, remember how we built the front of the bus? That's going to be us in the trucks here pretty soon. So how's everybody's welding skills, and who has steel plates with them? Alexander, of which can be purchased at any Love's. You can get, I've seen all this stuff. So yeah, you can get all this stuff at Love's. And they were saying there were people of every color riding. Yeah, there are all kinds of people out riding. That's true. I totally agree with that. Everybody joins in. It's kind of a crime of opportunity. And every one of them should have been arrested. Sorry I'm late. Smoke a Papa. It's good to see you here today. Governor's daughter was tweeting location of National Guard. Oh, great. So, S. Isaacs. Of course, if they're out in public, anybody could see him. I don't know what he's doing with her out there. The one complaint that I have about the truck is that I've had my windshield cracked twice this month trucking journeys. That stinks. Will they fix it, I guess? If you have a bladder problem with being sprayed blue dye, does it turn green? Yuck. No, that's how you can tell if you have a problem. What color it turns, that's how you can tell. You sound like my dispatcher, Columbia, George. Why did it take you a half hour to deliver that load? I'm just looking at the clock thinking that's a long time for a load delivery. At 10 here, it's 5.5 hours from that. So yeah, what are we doing? Why isn't this load being delivered? Trucking journeys end in like 2.5 to 3 years of driving. I never had to have a windshield replaced until now. Some years you get like that. And always starts out, I always get this stuff in the winter time where you'll get a little crack and then the heat, spreads the crack around. Electric trucks are not new. New York City's full of them in the 20s. Mac had an electric AC. What we use, the bus system here uses a electric hybrid buses here, which is pretty good. And they charge them at the bus depot with solar at night to charge the batteries up. So, Alexander, you're a GAP certified welder. I think you should get your truck started then. And you can get that one started and then work on the rest of ours. Soylent Green was on Saturday night. Oh, nice. The scoops are on the way. Kenneth just got a cape from Sierra England. I'll be invincible. Yeah, once you put that on, well, you're a hero. You're a hero. And with each cape, you've delivered one meal. Had to replace my windshield this week also. Hopefully no brick went through it. For close combat, size work nice. Oh, that'd be a different one. Everybody's got their own favorite knife. I use baby Huggies with cartoon characters as my mask. That's weird. Depending on who's looking at that. Need to start a new group called Mega Carriers Doesn't Matter. Oh, right. Hey, guys, I'm against Western Express just like you are. That's what you see out the window. Oh, yeah, 2 full windshield replacements in May. That's a disaster. Are the schools open now? No, not yet, Christina. Indiana, at least all I know about is Indiana, they're working on a plan to reopen the schools in the fall. So that's what they're doing for that. I guess some states may not open until January, but they said they may open here in the fall. They replaced mine on my last PM, but didn't Prefix my Express module. It just slides around. Prefix your Express module. Oh, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, you can just I would just tape that thing up there probably. That sounded wrong, Mark. We charge our electric buses at night by solar. That would be lunar. Oh, that's true, right. Well, okay, right. The solar charges battery banks that then charge the buses when they park at night. Okay, correct. They wouldn't charge them solarly during the day, right. Alexander, some of the nicest swords have a spike on the butt of the sword to act like a secondary armament. Some styles of curved swords from the Middle East are designed to be dual wield, though. Oh, that'd be pretty good. So you could bonk, stab, and bonk at the same time. Which sounds like a new dance at the roller rink, stab and bonk. Polish bus lines. These buses are never getting charged. They're sitting here all night, and we're not going anywhere. I'm in Bend, Oregon, Columbia, George. Unloaded 7,000 gallons of methanol with the truck pump. Oh, okay. And that takes that long, I guess so. I don't know how long it takes. That'd be something you could use, too. Just open that up and run through the protesters, right? And flick something out there. If nothing else, or just leave it, and at least they'll be clean from the Rona. Because that's that's probably a high enough percentage where they'd be cleared up from all that stuff. They wouldn't have to worry. Of course, they'll have masks on anyways. Eugene and Washington as well. And let's see, you could buy my home markets in Washington County, though. Yeah, Christina, it needs to be close to Jasper. I don't like to commute a long distance. So what I'm hoping to do is get in either Kimball Electronics or Worldwide or Jasper Engines or something in town as a spotter. That's the hope. And then I would live in right there somewhere in Jasper and have only a few minutes in as well. So that's what I'm thinking of. We looked at a house in Dubois, but it was too far away. It's just too far to come in. I didn't like that. So right in Jasper. So if you have something in Jasper, let me know. I see many companies go away from CNG trucks. They can't go that far. It was the wave of the future. Everyone claimed they could operate cheaper. Yeah, and then you see them all broke down. And so now they stopped doing them. Creepy Joes carry a handful of roller wieners and chuck them at protesters. What a waste of roller wieners. I'd be eating them before I'd be throwing them. OJ's developing a plan to catch his ex-wife's killer. Nice. He's like, this is my chance. That's to stand back and watch this offload. Right. Use liquefied nitrogen on the protesters. That'll put them on ice. Alexander, that's why I thought a CO2 extinguisher would work really good and would cool them off a little bit. Not being in school bothers this generation of kids, but in my time I would have been on top of the world. I know. It would have been so much fun. I couldn't wait to get out of school for the summertime. Just left Lebanon and Tangent, Oregon. 2-stop pick on 84 headed to Idaho for the night. Another 409 miles. You're rolling more today than some people work all week. Definitely would cool them off. That's what I'm saying. Liquid nitrogen would choke people to death. Well, that's a problem. I need a counterseg. I've looked at those kind of things too. Those are a little bit out of the budget here, and I've never seen one in person. So that'd be pretty awesome, though. Christina, how could you catch yourself on that? So at 3:30, I have to head out. So let's see what else is going on here before I get out and head off to work. I still see a bunch of UPS, CNG, and LNG trucks. I see a few things. Ruan has them for that milk company up the road. I can't think of that. I know in Salt Lake, England operates a few sleeper trucks. Fair Oaks Farms. That's it. They use a bunch of the trucks up there for Ruan hauling milk. And I forever see them broke down on I-65, so that's pretty good. You could pick your wiener again at Love's. That's awesome, really. When I heard about that, I mean, to be able to pick your own wiener, that really says something, to be honest with you. That's what we all have wanted to do our whole lives. So let's see as I click there. Okay, I lost that. Okay, you could pick your own wiener again at Love's. So I want to thank everybody for being here today at 3:30, and be safe out there, really. Another great show. Thank you. I appreciate it. Columbia, when I go to Vegas, sometimes I eat at O.J. Stanton Palace Station off the 15. Safe travels. Look, be careful. If you see somebody standing on an overpass, get in the next lane or whatever, okay? Just be watching for people, because this is going to take a little bit to cool down. There's not enough nitrogen to cool everybody down, really. Alexandra was first on Thursday. And the Wild Bill was first today. Oh, now let me do the rest of the stocks. Okay, USX was 519, and they're up. US Express. And I also had Roadrunner at 203. And it's down again. and they're almost under $2. And USA Truck was $6.40, and they're up as well. So, but Roadrunner's $2.03. I love it. Almost have hit the $2. That would only good if they're playing golf, which they're not, of course. So that's not going to work good for them. I want to see, say, Cash is King Trucking. Thank you for being here today. Yeah, think about that leasing idea. I think we got something going on there. Trucking Journeys was here today. Thank you. Ryan came in today. I appreciate it. Michael Cole, thank you for being here. Smoking Papa came in late, but I appreciate you being here anyway. Kenneth P., thank you for coming in. Columbia George, it was nice to see you today. Let's see here. Aviator Trucker was here. Roger Penske came in today. And I also have Christina was here today. Thank you for being here. Misty was here today. It was good to see you today. JD Forney was here. S. Isaacs. Benji came in today. That's good. The Bull Holland Bulldog. Be safe out there. Let's see here. Where am I at? Oh, Kelly was here today. Thank you very much for being in here today in the show, and everybody being safe out there, really. Jerry Rocks was here. Be safe, really. Watch for people in the overpasses, if anything. Stay out of large cities. It's a big disaster. It's a total disaster, and get some who knows what, right? And tomorrow, remember, 3 p.m. live on the show. I think it'll be interesting, okay? I'm going to try and be there, too, at 3 p.m. Eastern. Fleet Nav Systems, they're going to have a DOT officer on there. You can ask them questions. So if you have any questions for the officer, that would be really great. And that's what we're doing there today. So I want to thank everybody for being here today. And we'll see you on that show tomorrow. And more videos this week. Be safe out there. And I'll see you on the next one.